My name is Erica Lorraine Spencer, and I remain subject to state surveillance and terrorism by the state of California that is operating a malicious targeting system which is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices. And it is in violation of federal stalking statute 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsections 1 and 2. My website and podcast serve the public good by publishing evidence of the public entity's ceaseless engagement in a pattern of conduct intended to stalk and monitor via communication devices, surveil, harass, and terrorize an American citizen in concert with the people of the state of California. Documentation serves the lawful purposes of wide exposure, federal prosecution, and influencing federal legislation with policies specifically designed to punish, dismantle, and disincentivize an unprecedented targeting system by a public entity that acts in concert with the people of the state in order to criminally place under surveillance and terrorize an American citizen, which is a matter of public corruption in the state of California. See thepatternofconduct.wordpress.com. 8 MAP 769-14217J2, 6ZIM 249, Union Pacific, 7STB 060, BRUIN 94, BZXA 940, 7U94301, 6H68086, that's the minion from Andy's Burgers, 8RLN 731, 7XMC 296, 7FJR 144. These minions are molesting while I'm walking on the sidewalk. The fake sun remains in Ontario, by the way, directly over me on the side of the museum that I just got up at 7:53 a.m. right now. And you've got minions that are driving on Euclid Avenue and molesting with what is impossible light activity as it's horizontally reaching across the sidewalk in order to touch me. 6ARX718, that's the sex offender. 7KFK941, that's a demon-possessed sex offender. That's exactly how the demon-possessed shall be prosecuted for touching while they're stalking with the government. And I said Union Pacific because you hear that audible activity. They are engaging in what is facilitation, providing what is the audible activity while that ongoing molestation by directed light is underway, which is occurring under what is, first of all, the directed light stalking with light conduct and the light source that's remaining over the museum, not over Shiro's Liquor, not over what is Archibald and Airport Drive. At 7:50 in the morning, as I've documented, license 20815K3, 8RGB220, 8PKW833, 8XCD430, 8NQW322, 8YQR494, 8DCS399, 8AWU399, 8XVX336, 6ZLW640, 8SZW505, 8KLA274, 9G0687. Can't listen, that's a large truck. 6WMZ222, DU798 handicap. And again, as I stated, Union Pacific is engaged in that ongoing molestation. These are demons that are driving around in engineered light. That is crossing path. This is group stalking. And it's a sex offense while they also touch, that is these demons that are expelling light while they're driving by. All right, that's amplified audible activity. That's a demon in engineered light. License 7UIP106, A118BO, 09525P1, 7NWS632, 8RSA993, 4WEW302, 50487B3, 4UDB915, 8NWL292, 8THE480, 8PMR339, 8ZLS022, 05580F3, 7B49878, 8PXR560, 7:56 a.m., 8GLN012, 8WXC581, and it's 7:56 a.m. By the way, it is Tuesday, April 12, 2022, and this is P.O.C. Yeah. 26947V2, 5FKY261. 8VRM 931, 8MOG 927, 6LUS 416, 8FJU 065, 6DET 630, CB23X69 paper, 8Y, I can't really see that one, BFP, I can't see that one either. That was Student Transportation of America. 8CRE 524, 7T49, 810, 8ZNZ 398, 55933D2, 6V22080, 5NTN, I can't see that one, 8RMF 203, 24493S2. It's 7:58 a.m. Terminex 58552T2. TRL Systems 15891M2. 6PFL140. 5BVE653. 7TLD 513. 8RBT288. 8FYV183. 8TAZ153. 8VXH923. 7VCR805. AT&T is crossing path. 8ZVR767. 7DTZ900, 8HUE027, 7SHK487, 7KKG747. They're all crossing path in the same exact environment. They're group stalking, and this is also demonic activity. Synchronized crossing a path, even at what are traffic lights. License plate 8VIT902, I believe. 49241G2. 8UJK759, 04446V2, 9AAJ775, 7MIG475, 7WLN213, 5YQL224, 7BCC474, 8WSK091, CA70N38 paper, 7KEY448. 7FFH434, 8NOB061, or 8N08461. Eight LWM 843, 7 VYT 122, I believe. 7 PKC 404, 7 EZP 194, 5 HUC 384. It's 8:01 a.m. Omnitrans bus 1356, route 61, going eastbound, crossing path. Looks like 1545544. License 7VLW519, I believe. 6KDD944. And it is 8:01 a.m. 7 U.S.D 959, 7 HXC 781. 8JXW 444, 8PCT 846, 5TLN 415, 7TOY 430, 8WBX 571. It's 8:02 a.m. Alrighty, capturing what is video of the impossible light activity that the demons whose license plate you're hearing me recite, they're crossing path in directed light. And you're also witnessing, first of all, what is the maintenance of the light source that's on an opposite side of the street. They're not driving under what is any light source that's on this side of the street. You're witnessing what are demons, and they're doing so driving in the directed light, just like I'm showing you in the city of Fontana. You have directed light just sitting in the middle of the street. It would be shade, inexplicable light just sitting there. And so you've got inexplicable light that they are driving through while I'm reading their license plates. I am indeed identifying the demon-possessed, 8NQ1310, who are criminals, engaging in surveillance, monitoring with communication devices. These demons standing around at the bus stop. These demons that are driving by in commercial vehicles as well, monitoring. And you see Omnitrans on video, Route 83. It's license 1387141 and bus 1265. And the fake sun remains over 150 is held in alignment. It's P.O.C. I'm on bus 1265. It's being driven by appears to be a Latino male, perhaps 8DFZ752. That's a demon that's group stalking and crossing paths by driving in the traffic lane adjacent to the bus. And the light source, as I showed you, is remaining in Ontario over the 150 East Holt Boulevard. And while the demon possessed are crossing path in that engineered light that is appearing, as you see it, upright horizontally onto the vehicles that are the trucks. That's what all the third parties are doing, the same thing. 8YCM 381, 7D29378, 7XMJ281, 3LVN592, 14702C2, 7KXV794, 8NFP400, 18169X2, and City of Ontario. We are at Euclid and Mission, I believe. And it's 8:09 a.m. 8AMF459, 8CGW165, GTHUMB2, 8HAB181. City of Ontario is license plate 1469611. And it's 8:10 a.m. United States Postal Service crossing path. And the entity is keeping that light source in alignment while the bus is proceeding south on Euclid Avenue. 7ZTW572. The bus reflects that this bus is being driven by operator number 2366. That's per the display. It's 8:10 a.m. when they're displaying that. License set 4WRS123. KBEAR.
Stop requesting.
X2 4TM9245. That's a large truck. And the correct license plate, by the way, is 4WRS213. I said 123. It's 213. 8YZP. I can't see the rest of it. 7XMJ2. Or I can't see that one. 6UGE281, 8RWH099. 7K02-894. And the people of the state lined up on Euclid Avenue. This is not heavy traffic This is understanding what is relevant positioning as they are driving in directed light as I capture in video, and the light source is remaining in alignment while I'm on Route 83 that is going southbound, and that's the people of the state engaged in state surveillance, including, first of all, again, any sort of venue that you want to fathom, including Ontario Christian Middle School, 68594U2. They're engaged in demonic activity right now. Lining up, dropping off all their children at group stalking, monitoring with communication devices, engaging in what is demonic. Contrary to what the venue's called, contrary to what you're prepared to realize when you're dealing with what are children, and that's exactly the picture that Satan wants in your head. They're monitoring. And it's as demented as you see with that light activity that continues at Ontario Christian Middle School. The P.O.C. is underway. The same directed light, the same light sources over me. We are at, by the way, Philadelphia and Euclid Avenue. It's 8:13 a.m. RE383, 8YZP635, 6AXE841, 7LSX259, 8KUJ335, 5123, 5123, I can't see that one, 716U52, that's Nevada, 8VKT451, 7VPU448, CB3ZZ85 paper and Amazon Prime crossing path. That is 716E52. That's that Nevada plate. I'm sure I read that correctly. Monitoring with Amazon Prime, license 4FYP245. So understanding they're one entity, they're acting as one. FedEx crossing path, JB Hunt intermodal crossing path. These are the demon possessed. They're driving large commercial vehicles, and this is the criminalization of their demonic activity, and it's identifying them by the literal companies that they represent while they're engaging in this group conduct on behalf of the state. Engaged in monitoring. 01189L2 7XMJ281. It's 8:16 a.m. $58726H3. Amazon Prime and Ryder crossing path. We're at Euclid and Walnut. KUJ335, 7NZE333, and those demons are touching with light while they're in the turn signal 3 lanes away. Okay, Ryder and Amazon Prime are crossing path, monitoring, engaging in that ongoing terrorism as well. License plate,
Stop requesting.
8UKX279, 5VBL207, 7MAL574, Villa Park Landscape, driving in directed light just like I showed you on video, 7C56489. It would be shade on the passenger side of their truck, especially in their driving beside this bus. There's no sun horizontally shooting off of the bus. This is the pattern of conduct, and that demon driving that Villa Park Landscape, just like every other demon, is group stalking. And in addition to what are those commercial actors, demons with knowledge of the fact that they've been documented using those particular brands, Ryder and Amazon Prime, to repeatedly cross path. Understand that. That same conduct is underway while I'm documenting the elements. This is demonic activity. 8YJZ305. Student Transportation of America crossing path. We are at the intersection of what is Euclid Avenue and Riverside Drive. Penske, truck rental, crossing path. Costco crossing path, and these are commercial vehicles I'm documenting. Roseville and Euclid Avenue, Artisan Collection. That's a housing subdivision, crossing path with that third-party facilitating venue. SNU 170. Walmart crossing path, commercial vehicle. We're at Euclid Avenue and Edison Avenue. It's 8:21 a.m. Alrighty, capturing the light source that remains directly over the bus while the bus, you see it turn onto a specific street. First of all, I'm on Route 83 going southbound, and at 8:22 a.m., we're currently at Chafee Street and Eucalyptus Avenue, by the way. And at 8:23 a.m., the entity is keeping the light source over me while I'm on Route 61, going northbound on Sierra Avenue after being at what is the intersection, first of all, of turning from San Bernardino Avenue onto Jennifer, the Route 61, and I'm documenting 9720 Jennifer Avenue, and then the bus turns on to what is Marigold, and then turns on to Sierra. This is specific street for street, turn for turn. As the bus turns, that light source is necessarily maintaining that perfect angling, that precise presence over my head to the ultimate destination of the Fontana Mentioning train station. And I documented this the other day at 8:22 a.m. And I'm on Euclid Avenue, getting on at what is the in front of that county building, 150 East Holt, where you see that light source. You see the people of the state who are demonstrating demon possession in that environment with what is impossible light activity, and engaging in more so of it so that you can see it more clearly as the demons are monitoring documentation. All right, that is the entity engaging in what is demonstrating that condition. That's the character, the personality of Satan to its own demise. Okay, 7TDS 339. And while I'm on Route 83 going southbound on Euclid Avenue, headed toward the city of Chino at 8:22 a.m., you see the light source that is remaining in alignment for the duration of the time that I've been reciting license plates. As the bus turns onto Eucalyptus, ED074 handicap. As the bus is driving south on Euclid Avenue specifically, and then turns west onto Eucalyptus, you see that light source, which is not possibly the sun, over Fontana Sierra Avenue, over any vehicle, let alone the bus that I'm on. That's not the actual sun that's engaging in that conduct while I'm documenting and remind you about the same time when I'm in Fontana on Route 61, and that same street for street, turn for turn conduct is documented. And again, it's always coexisting with what is the impossible light activity, which you saw today while the demon possessed, because that's what they are. They are third parties monitoring with the state, driving around in impossible light while they're crossing path 6 NPW 773. And that impossible light activity is also documented as I capture at 8:26 a.m. on that Route 61 bus, where 6 NPW 773 is crossing path right now. This is P.O.C. 7CTJ 440, 8GDT 778. Passing Bowley, where the action is. The address is 14042 College Avenue. So-called Elite Gymnastics 14040 College Avenue. That's where we're at. The entity is maintaining a light source over me. They're engaged in surveillance in the same way that Martinez and Associates, La Quinta Inn, the Benihana, these restaurants and these hotels on Inland Empire Boulevard, where I'm typically on Route 61, and the entity is maintaining a light source over me because ongoing surveillance is underway, ongoing demonic activity, criminal conduct, which the entity demonstrates. Also, when I'm not on the bus and the entity is stalking by helicopter and airplanes, and the entity is crossing path in directed light, I'm being molested with directed light. That pattern of conduct is ceaselessly underway while I'm also driving through those business plazas on the streets in the city of Ontario, in the city of Rancho Cucamonga, in the city of Fontana. And this is the pattern of conduct while I'm on Route 83, and you're looking at that light source that is over me, an impossible coexisting occurrence. It's not occurring at the same time. It's maintaining presence over me exclusive while I'm on these particular streets headed toward the city of Chino. License 1523379, that's Chino Valley Unified School District. I'm engaging in crossing a path. 8JQU 354, 8TGC 930. 5XBV 636, 8KPL 859. VWIE7. WZ, I can't really see that. You can mess up. 7UET 518. KPZ 1433, that's out of state. Turning on to Chino Avenue from those College Avenue. Yeah. C14244464. That's Chino Police in relevant position while I'm being molested with directed light. While the entity is maintaining a light source over me, there is no difference with regard to what is that ongoing ceaseless pattern of conduct, and that's also what you are witnessing as I go to, for example, Pomona, as I go to any city. This is Chino. You're not seeing any exception with regard to what is entirely demonic and what is an impossibility with regard to the presence of that environment. And it's showing, and that's why you see bus drivers that are molesting with directed light. There is no exception with regard to what is the system. And I'm just giving you an example with regard to bus drivers because it's showing there the system is ceaselessly underway. It includes everyone at all times. Thank you. And that is what is revealed by the pattern of conduct. And That is why the environment is present. Okay, so as I am going to what are different, and let me give you the license plate of this bus again. It's license 1387141, and again, that Latino male driving bus number 1265, whose employee number is, again, I documented that based on what was displayed on the screen, which is reasonably relied upon, and the entity engaging in any act of what is refusal or removal of that publicly available identifying information is nothing other than additional grounds of prosecution, while the entity is monitoring documentation. So you're talking about what is engaging in what is obstruction of justice, and that's the government seeking to futilely avoid identifying a particular third party when there is, again, a bigger picture. But there's even a federal charge relevant for that, because that's a pattern that the entity engages in. Anyway, what I'm speaking to, again, while I am documenting or going to, for example, a different city, or go to a different location, and it is forcing an entity to expose itself, understand that. Okay, first of all, because you have the impossible occurrence of what is this environment that's over me. That's not going to be that's not the actual sun. That's common sense. The actual sun's not remaining over me at the Pomona Regional Transit Center after I'm, for example, remaining at the Ovid Family Community Library all day long, and it's even setting inside of that library. It's never, and that's the point. When I'm at the Ovid Family Community Library, I'm like, no, that's not the sun. Let me go to Pomona and show you something. And so when I go to Pomona and the light source is remaining over my head in Pomona, how is it over the Ovid Family Community Library, directly cozy over that entrance, aiming light in the ways that it does, which is not even sunlight either. But this is speaking to and what is forcing an entity to reveal itself as I document that, and that's why I do it. It's impossible light activity. It is the impossible presence of a light source that is, again, not coincidentally remaining over me. This is a targeting system. And what else coexists with that? The directed light. All right, that coexists with what is this light source that I'm documenting, maintaining exclusive, and it is exclusive because this is not and it is not possible that everyone is under what is a light source that remains over your head everywhere that you're going, regardless of what directions that we're all going at the same time, everywhere at the same time, because it would not just be Ontario, California. Okay, you're talking about what is documenting an impossibility while I am documenting what the entity is doing around me with a light source that's not possibly the sun. All right, that is an impossibility. And then with regard to what is the duration of time that light source remains over me, and then on comparison, again, I'm in Chino, California, and then I'm in, for example, Fontana, California. Okay, 8MFJ659, 6WPK 559. And so what I want to make sure I clarify, and this is understanding the pattern of conduct. Yes, it's prosecution. This is forcing an entity to reveal itself. There's no exception. There's no corner of any region that's not engaged in this pattern of conduct. It is the state's pattern of conduct, and it reveals it while the entity engages in more of the same. As I document what is entirely impossible to occur, the entity engages in what is it's foolish, but you're talking about what's the personality of Satan. So you capture the demonic, impossible light that they're driving through. This is impossible. All right. So it's like, dang, we're caught. The conduct, the personality of Satan is to do more of that. What they don't want to be known. And then, as I pointed out, the entity does more. That's the significance of what you saw on video. Albert sends a larger vehicle so that you can more clearly see that directed light as it moves across the truck, which is damning evidence. Okay, that's not helpful. And be clear, this is the personality of Satan that engages in that sort of self-destructive conduct. It's helpful. I don't need help, but like I said, that is the type of conduct that you are going to also analyze. You want to engage in threatening while you're hurting yourself, but that's the personality of Satan. You're going to translate that into a prosecution. That's an impermissible threat. You have the entity providing more of that. That's why you had more trucks toward the latter part of my video. You had more bigger vehicles appear as I was pointing out this directed light. And this is in order to make more vivid so that you can see more clearly what it is that I pointed out before the entity was engaging in that sort of conduct. You're engaging in what is stalking, and you want to do it inconspicuously, but I'm pointing out every detail. Pay attention to this. Look at that. That's not something that they want on display. 8WPA 879. As I pointed out, though, however, the entity engages in highlighting it more so that you can see it more clearly. That's translating into what is an impermissible threat, and it is the personality of Satan that is defeated. Okay, these are demons, and they are engaging in what is entirely demonic, and as I point that out, I'm pointing out their demon possession. All right, and the personality of Satan is to engage in more of it as I do so. Okay, that is translating into what is an impermissible threat. 6GFV980. As I go to what is, again, I'm in Chino. I came here before on the 24th, March 24th, but I came at a later time. Recall that. I'm here earlier, 8XCC459, and the entity in the same exact manner as I document on Route 61 as I remain in Ontario and I go to Fontana in the afternoon, for example, after 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I arrive at 3 o'clock in the afternoon in Fontana, the entity engaging in the same exact street for street, turn for turn as I do when I get on at 7:50 in the morning. That's what the entity just did right now, arriving in Chino as I'm getting on at 8:04 in the morning, as opposed to when I am still on the 24th, I got on the bus after 8:30 in the morning. 7WGV460, and employee number 2229 was driving. Remember, this is already documented, and the entity where I got on right now, I crossed path with Ontario and the Amazon Prime, Ontario Police and Amazon Prime at 9:06. It's very specific, and the entity engaged in that same exact conduct, the same exact route, which is impossible. It is also impossible with regard to what is the coexisting documentation while it's remaining over me at the Ontario Museum, where on days where I did not leave Ontario at all, okay, March 13, 2022, where I'm already in Fontana, okay, where I'm on the bus headed toward Fontana, which is what I'm documenting while I'm on Route 83. So this is everything. This is breaking down what is stalking. It is nothing less than that. It is nothing less than stalking with a light source, which is already established. The entity making very clear what is, well, actually, I'm making very clear, the entity punctuating for what is its own prosecution and knowledge as to the demonic in the United States. 6WPX559. How does the United States engage in terrorism in the U.S.? Terrorism is underway via 7BMN814, demon-possessed third parties like that who are engaging in what is supposed to be the outward appearance of normalcy, that which you are not otherwise questioning when they're just driving a vehicle and they happen to be by you and doing so. They're doing so in a specific environment. They're doing so while they are entirely focused on you in that specific environment, and that specific environment is demonic. It's a demonic environment, and this is how a government is engaging in terrorizing you, especially as you become aware of it and document that government. Those very third parties who I am identifying by license plate are, first of all, one entity, and they are, second of all, engaging in what is demonic, while they are 8MFJ659 engaging in what is, first of all, it's relevant with regard to what is demonic conduct, being present, moving all around you. This is what Satan is doing. It's with regard to what is ritualistic conduct that is entirely wicked. Satan's intent is to, in other words, if you're talking about having no concern with any consequences, with no regard for what, the rest of the world or for what people that are not engaged in this would say, but for no consequences. The real conduct of the demon-possessed, Satan itself, wants to literally engage in conduct of a freak, weirdo, psychopath, literally like the Tasmanian devil, just spin around you over and over and over again in engineered light, covering you with directed light, and engaging in, by spinning, I mean just maintaining presence, going all around you, all over, repeatedly, incessantly. And this is this ritualistic demonic activity, maintaining presence all around you, and the entity is doing this in a manner that's supposed to appear normal, just using a bunch of people who are demon possessed, maintaining presence around you in that environment. 4UWF782. And so this is what the entity is doing, and this is the intent of, and this is actually the desire, and I've shown you what the entity is doing amongst the people in the aggregate. It's the same conduct. You're dealing with the same entity, and for purposes of prosecution, you're dealing with the same public entity, and it is demonic activity, and the intent is to maintain purpose. So while you are separating by a license plate what is the same demon-possessed entity, you're understanding, first of all, what is the entity doing? They're pacing. This is Satan that's crossing path, that's going by you, going around you over and 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 over, and doing so in what is this engineered light. It's entirely demonic. And that is the desire. That's actually what Satan is engaging in. It is demonic. It's ritualist. It has spiritual significance with regard to what is this demonic activity. It also has legal relevance because they're engaging in what is relevant to crossing a path, monitoring with a communication device. Crossing path is significant to that. 8GSV483. And that is what is literally the crime. All right. And you're talking about what is absolutely irrelevant to some third party demon possessed group stalking minion who doesn't say anything. They don't have to say anything to you. They're engaging in the act. The act is demonic, and the act is also criminal while you're subject to what is monitoring by the government. That's what vicarious presence is. That's what group stalking is. 8891882. And the entity engaging in what is the demonic as you are exercising control over the environment. And so that is what is relevant to revealing a light source that's remaining over me while you are listening to what is, again, train activity while demons are pacing back and forth. All right, and these are old geezers, affiliated with what is the Army, 7ZLJ492. He's an old dirtbag, and he's monitoring, and he's a demon-possessed stalker. CB75X04. Because that's what legally defines what the government is doing, and it is also applying what are legal definitions to what a demon-possessed entity is doing. And you are stalking. You're doing it in a way that was supposed to be inconspicuous. You're doing it in a way that was never supposed to be discerned or perceived, but that is not the case, and that's exactly what they're engaged in. 35058E2. And doing so while the entity follows with a fake sun, while the entity amplifies audible activity, while the entity engages in showing and or hiding its light source. This is already documentation that remains on the record, and I captured those videos, and that's exactly what the entity is doing today as I come to Chino at the same time, by the way, while I'm showing you where I'm at in Fontana. And that's just, again, the immediate history of what I've documented. There is a body of evidence that already exists. So these are minions that work at the city hall. These are minions of law enforcement. These are minions of the Civic Center in Chino that are monitoring while the entity is sounding train activity. Okay, and of course that's the minion that is Union Pacific. This is the minion. Union Pacific is heavily used with regard to what is Metrolink, that is engaging in what is a business with regard to passengers, but again, Metrolink engaging and deviating from that, readily engaging in criminal activity, hopping on a train track in order to be the guise of what is stalking with audible activity, serving massive facilitation. All right, but Union Pacific is regularly used on any and every train track with regard to what is maintenance of what is audible activity in the environment, and it is massive facilitation. This is criminal activity by what are government actors while I'm at the Chino Transit Center. All right, the bus that I got off, Route 85, it says now, maintaining presence with light activity. They're monitoring. All right, license 4MNDREZ, I believe. License 8RYD966, 6WHB975, 7BDA305. And it's 8:44 a.m. License plate 5UAE309. They're engaged in surveillance, group stalking, sitting at the bus stop. I'll show you what is that. This is surveillance, maintaining massive presence. They're monitoring on communication devices together while demons such as 8XTU977 are crossing path. All right, this is called patrolling, and this is what is surveillance, monitoring with communication devices. And you've got Union Pacific on this train track behind the this is the parking lot where the Chino Transit Center is, and that's the train activity you're hearing. That's the criminal purpose that company is serving. All right, AYYWAY, and you see Union Pacific very often hops into that role, hopping on into whatever train track. That's what it's doing at Mercy House. That's what it's doing while walking down the street. This is City of Chino engaging in surveillance, group stalking in the car. That is the significance of Union Pacific amplifying this audible activity. They're stalking in relevant positions, light sources remaining over me, and directed light, which is not only did I document now, but I've already documented this. And this is also when I've already established the prima facie case. This is what the entity is always stalking with. And that's what the city of Chino is surrounded by. That is evidence, and that's exactly what they're doing. It's license 1579211. That's City of Chino. And AYYWAY 7WQH168 7CRX214 8FHP913 8SWW675 6FCE473 6RDZ 749 8PDL273 3TGN769. This is City of Chino 1253901 8YND797. Yeah, that's City of Chino. 8MIG972, 7ROR856, 8WPA879, 8LOL794, 7MHJ396, 7PKW898, 6EIT454, 10496K3, 7KPU002, 8WYX805, 6UEJ660, WHOUDAT, 6791383, P834MO, 5WWZ878, 6SJG097, 6TBB063, 42616J3, 8JVV479, 04421X1, L803FO, 78EZ122, 7KXH496, 5NSW956, 7BAR284, 7JCH011, 63283Z2. Eight AEP 917, 7 RZE 903, 25006 J2, ALR 559, that's out of state, 84787 C3, 8GYC 676, 8VBK 641, 2937 OU2, 8SJM 785, 39747 C1, 1888143, I believe. 1888143. I believe that's the license plate, and that's the company Diamond. You know, like some sort of utility company. I've documented them before. It's 8:49 a.m. Alrighty, that's the same state. Crossing paths via aircraft. Group stalking with the people. That's amplified plane activity. License plate 8JSV718. Crossing path with the state. That's overly amplifying plane engine. Okay, they're group stalking together. This is demonic activity. 7XZS579, and that is literally when I'm showing you the logos of Alaska Airlines, Delta Air. That's what those companies are doing. It's demonic. 8TTH458. In addition to what is criminal and reprehensible, using a whole commercial airline plane to stalk somebody. 8UIH836 CAGRNGO, and that's exactly what they're doing in a specific environment. And that specific environment remains as I documented those commercial airline planes. License 6VNJ382 COLOCHO 8HZM349. American Medical Response crossing path as well. License 7XF. I can't even see that one. That is Route 85, bus 2361, driven by an African-American female, 1545945, directed light on the curb while that demon proceeds by after remaining with light activity, monitoring the entire time, as I stated. License 8ZTB865, monitoring with City of Chino, monitoring with the minion. I showed you a picture of him. He's standing in front of the bus stall for Route 88. He's monitoring. They're all monitoring together. This is patrolling. These demons are monitoring as well. 1545806. 23547T2. That's RC Auto Transport Incorporated. Directed light all across the door, the passenger side of that door while they're driving by. That's not coming from your side view mirror. That's directed light. 8YMM919. 12707V2. That's a demon. 53706 handicap. 87487F1. 8MMW659. 5BN. I can't really see that. 373 is the last plane, but I'm missing a character. I couldn't see the whole license. 6MBG079. KFB839. YDS HRV 12735H2. That's Goodyear. Crossing path. A demon. Dragon directed light while they're crossing path. Group stalking. 8:53 a.m. 7K H. I can't really see that when you scratch on. 7LHX956. 5BBE632. 6NPN321. 8D61882. SoCal Gas. Seven FKT288. 8D75520. 848-3C3, substantially similar. I can't really see that one. 7R. I can't see that one either. You can try that. And this is what is state surveillance. They're pacing back and forth. They're engaged. And what does that look like in the natural? Oh, they're driving by. And they're maintaining presence in driving by. Presence on behalf of the state of California. That is stalking via their conduct of driving by. Operating your business. You're doing it in that specific environment for your stalking convenience. You are a stalker where that environment is maintaining presence around the target individual. That's how you're engaging in what is a system of surveillance and stalking. Group stalking. And group stalking is demonic. 74511N2. 9. Oh, I can't see that one. 8NLA032. License 7LZC973. SoCal Gas pacing the opposite direction. That's an African American male driving that vehicle. 38571V1. And that's why you have, again, what is the indiscriminate engagement of what is an absolute impossibility, directed light while you are merely driving a vehicle. All right, this is that system. SoCal Gas, the gas company, crossing path with another vehicle. 8U94025. 5UNT701. 87755Z2. It's 8:55 a.m. Uh, 36085K1. AVJT. AVJT712. 8VNX249. 7TJY233. It's 8:56 a.m. 8ZRL224. 7Z67444. That's AGM Catering Food Service. 8VGM268. 8WLP740. Loomis is crossing path. License 6XTU488. 8LDR 8LDR416. 8Y91224. 7FQF989. Demons Dragon Directed Light. License plate 6KDZ682. Showing you what is the fake sun that remains over me while I'm documenting minions that are crossing paths, and they're doing so with directed light. 7ERK432 at 8:56 in the morning, and I'm reminding you about my presence in Pomona, California on March 22nd, 2022. I'm reminding you about my presence in Fontana, where I'm standing at the Fontana Chamber of Commerce, heavily documented state facilitating venue, where there is no possible presence of the sun over at that property. Right over my head, not just at the property, but over my head as I stand at that property. 55355B3 at 8:56 in the morning. All right. Well, I kept the video starting specifically at 8:57 a.m. But this is a reference to what is 8:56 a.m. as I documented that specific time, and using it as an example as I travel outside of Fontana and Ontario, showing you what is stalking with a light source. That is not possibly the sun. 1545833, and it's also not sunlight while these demons cross path with the pattern of what is directed light. It's demonic in every regard, okay? And also, as I come to Chino, it's nothing other than revealing what is, first of all, the pattern of stalking with an environment. That's what group stalking is. All right, 6RMW504, in order that an entity, a demon-possessed entity, first of all, because it's demonic, but an entity, a public entity that's placing you under surveillance is capable of maintaining, while they engage in this demonic activity, as a people and as a government, maintain an environment around you, and that's how you're stalking. They're not all hopping in their cars. Well, with regard to what is actually the pattern of conduct and you're understanding what is an entity, conduct on behalf of an entity, they are all hopping in their cars. They are all following in that regard, in that sense, when you're understanding what is the conduct on behalf of the state. But with regard to what is group stalking and the actual execution of that system, the entity is keeping an environment around you. You're talking about multiple faces engaging in the same exact conduct, which is specifically identifiable because it's impossible. It's demonic. All right. And that's how you're a stalker when the light source remains over you as you go to Madera, California. And you're ordinarily in San Bernardino. 1548373, crossing past City of Chino. And you're looking at what is the maintenance of a light source that's over your head while you go to Madeira. And I'm just giving you an example. This is what the entity is doing while I'm in Ontario, and I'll just go to Pomona. How is the light source, when it's remaining right over the Ophir Family Community Library, keeping it in alignment with that library all day long? And while I'm at that library, I'm like, wow, that's not the sun. That's impossible. I'll even go to Pomona, California, Los Angeles County. But I was documenting this before I started specifically revealing to you what is stalking with a light source, what is going on in the environment that surrounds you, in other words, while the entity in the state of California is engaged in surveillance, 6BHA230. And so you have what is this entity that's engaging in this conduct, and that's how you're engaging in group stalking. And you have, with a straight face, psychopaths that I'm encountering, and I document it on my podcast so you can listen to it on purpose. Excuse me, I document it on purpose, and so that you can listen to it and learn. First of all, I'm dealing with what are entirely malicious psychopaths, and that's a psychopath is revealed by your conduct and your motive. 8NML544, the way that you are outwardly conducting yourself versus what you are actually engaging in. And you are also delusional because you're talking about an entity that is surrounded with evidence. So you're talking about engaging in conduct. All you're doing is waiting for your expiration date for when you're sitting in federal court, when I'm dragging you there, because I'm dragging you now. So you're waiting for the date where I'm dragging you in federal court while you are demonstrating you are an unbalanced and delusional psychopath. You're surrounded with evidence, and you are conducting yourself outwardly as though you are engaging in something that is, just as far-fetched as neon green sun. Oh, no, not neon green. Let's say violet purple. No, even that. You can see purple sun. That would be pretty. Like something as impossible as, let's say, teddy bears floating in the sky. Something just like fantastical. That's what I mean. Something just so outlandish. And this is what you're listening to when you're hearing the conversation between Stephanie and myself inside of the library. 7PCX380, 7NMZ616. These demons lining up while they thinking I'm distracted with talking on my podcast. 6WPA856, crossing path. This is terrorism. 5HRB423. They're all stalking with the government. 7TJY223. This is an impermissible threat by the government, because that's what they are. The people of the state, they are the state of California. 8BRT511. And take a look again at my video where you see the government stalking by helicopter, and you see the people of the state that are in the shoes of the government, group stalking at the museum. This is the same entity. It's the same entity. Group stalking 24 hours a day and crossing paths right now. One demon after another demon after another demon, threatening you, stalking you in your face. While you are engaging in documentation, you will go to federal prison for that. Okay, so like I said, the entity is engaging in this conversation while you're listening to what is audible activity. Oh, it's really disturbing. It's off-putting. You know, what you're talking about. She's describing herself. Because she's a demon that's engaging in sexual violence while I'm documenting what you are doing. That's what they're doing. 79568K2, and she's describing it as off-putting. That's a psychopath. All right. That is one that wants to separate themselves from what is a pattern of conduct. You are surrounded by it. You are engaging in it. 7LUL068. And while again, I am in Chino, California, there is no possible time where the actual sun is remaining over the venue where you work for an excess of 10 hours in a day, let alone is it ongoing while I'm in Chino, California, and at the same time, and I'm documenting what is the maintenance of a light source over me here. I'm documenting that venue right now. I'm documenting and I'm revealing what is the truth of the mendacious minion that is Stephanie that works at that Fontana Lewis library. That's a psychopath. Okay. And that's a very and I calmly deal with them. I use common sense and break it down what they're doing, because even in their alternate universe, what her conduct does not make sense. It's absolutely unfair. 7RSG156, and I'll prosecute for that. All right. 7YTC467. Understand that's the government that's engaging in what it's targeting while they want to obstruct justice. 5NJL589, 6SIK636. It is an additional element of what is terrorism while you're subject to surveillance by sex offenders. All right, describing your documentation as off-putting. Hell yeah, it's off-putting. You're a demon-possessed stalker who's engaging in the conduct. It's very off-putting to be subject. She's describing herself. All right, she's describing her own conduct, and I'm glad that's an admission, because what you are doing is entirely demented, and I will document it. I'll document it at that venue. I'll document it in Chino, California. All right, because I'm documenting Fontana. I'm documenting the Fontana police. I'm documenting Stephanie. I'm documenting the entity while I'm at the museum, and the entity is stalking by helicopter and engaging in what is causing path with the minion in my face. That's an unlawful threat. And that is communication of a threat, the same entity that Stephanie is acting in concert with. 7MXS757, describing her own sick activity in bathrooms and in the computer lab. As off-putting. You're absolutely right. That's the only thing, the only true thing, accurate thing, even though off-putting is not even, it's not strong enough with regard to use of an adjective to describe what is demonic and criminal on behalf of a government. It's unprecedented, but that's, you're getting there. And she's describing her own self. You're describing yourself. It's off-putting. Yeah, you're right. And this is the psychopath. And so I'm with a straight face and a calm demeanor, as calm as I can, dealing with Satan, but there's a bigger picture. I'm going to prosecute for that. And that's why I document. Those are very crucial conversations. First of all, it's serving to threaten my life. It's monitoring. The very audible activity. And these psychopaths are monitoring together continuously while I'm capturing that conversation. All right, the demon that engages in assault, raising up like he wants to fight a woman with his little dangly earring out of his ear, all manner of what is conflicting. You want to act gangster, but I'm sorry, I'm off put by your earring. And then second of all, wait, why are you trying to raise up on a female? I'm so confused right now. I think I'm supposed to be scared though. I guess that's the message that I'm supposed to be sent. I'm going to prosecute for that. All right, this is an inferior minion monitoring with Stephanie while we're having the conversation. They are crossing path in directed light, group stalking. Okay. So anyway, it's currently 9:10 a.m. and touching is the city of Chino, 1412175, vehicle 220. This is a demon that's engaging in touching me while he's group stalking in the parking lot. And this is a minion that represents the municipality. Okay. That's a sex offense. 78EZ122, 8JVV479. And I think I read these. I just want to make sure that I got all of them. And it's currently 9:10 a.m. P834MO, 7JLC663. Engaging in surveillance in the parking lot. This license plate is 8DTH383, if I did not read that one already. They're engaging in surveillance and they're waiting until I approach directed light. Of course, this is the same conduct of the demon possessed, and they're in the parking lot inside at Chino, engaging in that pattern of conduct. 6VJX581, BF95Z82 paper, 78RV572, CB75X04 paper, 6YRT752, 8HGG017, 7ZVH283, 8KLP487, 8UFS531, 7GMP067. It's 9:11 a.m. Oh, good. We've got a police vehicle. Oh, no. This is a security guard. 7YCE838. And their PPO number, do they have? Yeah, PPO 12969. American Guard Services engaging in un-American conduct. They're monitoring with the municipality. All manner of just, hypocritical conduct. 8XEB757, 8PFU970, 7VGY142, 7PBT339, 8DSS315, 8MXC767, 5HGV737, 8MKH890, 8TMR964, 8XHF882, That's that demon that's driving the City of Chino vehicle. He's just opening and closing the door, stalking with noise. That's a demon. It is 9:12 a.m. I'm going to get the license plates of these minions, parking in relevant position, and then crossing path as they go to their vehicles, which they then use as a form of additional crossing path and light activity. License 6BCW935, 7P59087, 7RFR425. This is, Juan RM, Juan RM is his license plate, 8CNZ056. He's not the only one. License plate 37691G3, 6DOZ 374. That's Juan MG starting his ignition. The other demon whose license plate I just read, while they move their vehicle, they wait for a moment to do so because directed light coexists with the movement of that car while they're sitting around engaging in surveillance. 3JS4 EVA. 4XRC742. 8CTU 872. City of Chino Community Services 1518610. Oh boy, the only services that they serve Satan. They're over here with directed light, driving that community services vehicle, engaging in surveillance and what is demonic activity. That's the Chino Community Services. License 1515457. That's City of Chino vehicle. That is a City of Chino vehicle. That's the municipality. V1. I think I might have read this one already. 5KVB508, in case I did not. 7FBN641. 8WYA625. 8BQU909, 8PTN503. You're holding a yoga class in directed light. It's called relevant positioning. 6YMM685, 8FAF507, 7U180D2, 8EUX108, 7ZFT994, 8X16498, 7TLM658, 8AJH269, 7ZEM993. It's 9:17 a.m. 8R75107. Let's see, 8LBJ072, 6YXK280. 393, 393, can't really see this one. 393ZK handicap, 8CGL168. Chino police crossing path. 6DLL422, where you hear this yoga music where they're holding a yoga class. They're engaged in criminal summoning and the light source is over my head. It's facilitating activity and they are in relevant position. This is P.O.C. 7XEU412, 5SVG696, 7TTY520, 7KSA146, 5ZNC620. 7SJM058, 6ZGS420, 4AUF197, 8EUT833, 6CDA618, 6YNE560, 9ADV684, 6YYK798, 8VCZ737, 6MFM095. License BSO2C57 paper. License 7VVF381, 3886, 8E3, 8HZM349, 6WXC021, iHeart2T1, 7VXC139, 6JTA626, 6PDM496, the pattern of conduct is underway where the people live by FedEx, who's group stalking in the path. I'm at the intersection of 6th Street and C Street in Chino. And FedEx, like I stated, is using their hazards in the path. I'll show you that, just like they were in Rancho Cucamonga. That is light activity that FedEx is engaging in, and that is group stalking. They are in alignment while they're creating light activity, while the entity is engaged in criminal summoning, while the entity is pacing around, maintaining presence even through their little yoga class. They're maintaining presence in engineered light. It is facilitation. And that's why the environment follows Ticino. That's why you have this impossible occurrence. That's the purpose of that environment following me around, because it's impossible that the actual sun is remaining over me while I'm walking the streets in Chino, where it's remaining over the Fontana Chamber of Commerce, that parking lot where the fire station is, as I'm walking also to Stater Brothers. 1446133, that city of Chino that is crossing path, monitoring in concert with FedEx, who's creating light activity. 7BVT863, 83711Z2, 8EVX651, 7NQZ419. And so again, that is the address that is, let me get these demons that are pacing, 2214482, 7TTY249. This is the address that is, the address that I stated, 13125, where directed light is moving across it while that demon whose license plate I recited drives by. That's a demon, and that's the ongoing pattern of conduct. That's what FedEx is engaging in, all right, while they're stalking the path using their hazard lights. It's light activity, and they're doing so while I'm standing at that address, which is on 6th Street. So that is 13125 6th Street. That's the venue where I'm standing in front, and FedEx is intentionally present in alignment. And by intentionally, I don't mean intentionally delivering a package. This FedEx employee is a demon. This is demonic activity. They are engaging in what is the use of that brand, that commercial company, for what is their form. They don't deliver babies. All right, they don't serve food unless you've ordered food. They're going to deliver it, and they're using what is their business as a means of stalking in the path and creating facilitating activity. And that is identified by what is that specific environment, that impossible environment, that which is not naturally occurring, while you are then able to identify what is the P.O.C. as companies engage in what is commercial stalking on behalf of the state. 7DYK529, 8ZAL991, 6E49105, 6TUM673, 6DWK392. Seven 2021 K3. Eight NPZ 492. 5 SNV 072. BND 0409, that's Washington. Sensational's crossing path. Five PJY 190. 211 A04, that's Nevada. 6RIM 910. It's 4RIM 910, excuse me. Eight UNH 026, 6W73844, 5Y8E 582, 0903983. That is RH Roofing. And so is 549552. That's RH Roofing. They are in relevant position right now, creating audible activity. They are engaged in group stalking. That's why light source is directly above me. And while they are present in the path, the P.O.C is underway. Regardless of what trade that they are engaging in right now, they're engaging in it while they are monitoring as well. And this is the pattern of conduct that's underway through people everywhere that you're going at all times. All right, and it's the same with their little yoga class. 895 HT handicap. That's why the entity is surrounding with what is light activity by commercial actors, heavily documented, FedEx. Engaging in what is criminal summoning, heavily documented. The entity is engaging in what is ongoing facilitation while a light source is literally remaining directly over my head, which is impossible that would be the case while I'm in Chino, California. And at the same time in Rancho Cucamonga, okay, coming out, remember the video I captured at 9:06 in the morning. First of all, I'm showing you the direct light inside of that DMV, and then I step out and it's right there over my head in the parking lot. And the entity is maintaining presence over me while I'm in Fontana, California, in the same manner as I've also documented at the same time. 4FLR376, 5CRG958, 5EVX945, 68762C3, 7N93110. 8XMF787. 6YVA572. 7D65560. 7ZKU046. 4WDK791. 1577563. That's city of Chino. 21395H2. 8WLV885. 40318C1. 8P24899. 90217K1. 8ZWG772. 6JSB762. 7ROM 219. CVW 091. Five NWB 140. FedEx crossing path again, license 8877 NV2. 8VSE 665. 803. I can't really see that one. 8KOY 338. That is 8. I'll get this one in a second. That is 8N38692. Okay, and FedEx is pacing. They turn down 6th Street and turn back up 6th Street. That's activity creation. It's 88779V2. At third party facilitating venue 12916 6th Street. And crossing a path in front of me again as I'm entering a driveway. This is literally a demon that's stalking and turning in the direction that I'm walking. License 7SGW 640. That's who FedEx is monitoring with while they're stalking me as I'm walking at this side of the street. 49744D3 5NYY 213. 7CNR 866. 6NSX 205. CPA RCG 7B35456. 80254S1. 84879E3. And let me be clear, let me spell out to you again what FedEx is doing right now, and they're doing it under what is the fake sun. It's 9:32 in the morning. They turn down 6th Street, which I'm walking up 6th Street, and then they make a U-turn, staying at that same section of 6th Street where I'm at, and then they stop in the middle of the street, and then as I finish reading a license plate, then they turn into this parking lot right here where it is Kim's Master Auto Repair at 5163. This will be 5163, what is this street right here? Let me get this address, hold on. Alrighty, taking a picture of this property. It's called Kim's Master Auto Repair. FedEx drives through this property, and it's facilitation. FedEx is monitoring. FedEx is literally stalking 8XTU977 as I'm at this portion of the street. And that's a demon that's maintaining presence whichever direction that I'm going. Okay, so they drive through that property, and that is on Riverside Drive. That's the street. All right, 1564170. And doing so at what is 9:33 a.m. And again, that's nothing other than a demon that's driving a commercial vehicle. That's relevant for how you can prosecute, and the people shall be prosecuted. The government's using companies. You've got demons that just hop into company vehicles because they don't want their own license plate being documented. So be it. It's the entity. The entity is going. The people of the state of California are going to be prosecuted uniformly. 8NLP285, 8JTF 499, 7L38, 64. Oh, you can scratch that. I can't say that one. 1395040, driving a California exempt vehicle. Looks like a white male. 8CKA 689. Alrighty, capturing the light source right over me at the intersection where FedEx is engaging in stalking 5VCN 715 34589S2. License 8AGR 600, and I'm at the intersection of Riverside Drive and 6th Street at 5201 Chino United Methodist Church. And I'm showing you, first of all, what is the entity that is acting directly and vicariously. As you do see Chino police cross path, engaging what is demonic. That's both the identification of their condition and their criminal activity. And it is facilitation while they're engaging in that criminal conduct with the people of the state. So that law enforcement is, you're dealing with that demon-possessed aspect of that population in the ways in which I continue to reveal with regard to their criminal conduct and what is entirely demented in terrorism. License 6TPX 457. Rockstad, that's a company. I can't see their license plate though. 8CPS 450. 8ZBL 675. And these sex offenders, that includes Chino Police, that includes FedEx, Ryder, Cintas, who you see on video, 8 U.S.C. 052, they're touching, they're molesting with directed light while they cross path. 82138W1, the conduct of demons. 7FSS 676, on the grounds of what's supposed to be a church. It's not a church. It's not what Satan calls itself. Okay? If that was actually a genuine church, then demonic activity would not be occurring, would not be facilitated, would not be ongoing on the grounds of that supposed church. It's not holy ground. All right? And at the same with what is Chino Valley Unified School District. License plate 6G51652. They're nothing other than names and titles. All right? HCDP393. They don't mean anything. 88JB. I can't really see that one. It doesn't mean anything with regard to what is understanding the reality of demonic activity. 93367G2. It's not based on some outward appearance, which is what an entity relies upon. 7JQL562. Relying on the outward appearance of their position, some sort of exception, and you're not an exception. 5NWB140. Chino Police crossing path again. I mean, it's currently 9:40 a.m. 6FJC013, excuse me. 7ZKU046. 8TMR964. 5NJF261. 8RQN592. 8NTL433, I believe. 8RNY. I can't listen to that one. 8TSM018. 7SZB475 96768S2. I'm sorry, 8S2, yeah. 7GED830. 5WFJ582. 36404S1. 7GKM547. 8SAR502. 8WVK292, 7DYK529, 7JCC516, 8NFL736, 8DMD504, 8NWL837, 7XCP675, 8SZP793. And let's see, 03004C3. 6UTD884, 95720Y1. It's 9:42 a.m. 6ZXR846, 7RZU902, 7HUX465, 8UGU255, 6YBK119, E804KO. Washington, BZE3669, 8THW971, 8VNH976, 8VAL862. Alrighty, documenting the pattern of conduct at what is this little car wash on Riverside Drive, and it is the pattern of conduct that's underway, and I'm showing you the presence of the state that's here acting directly and vicariously. The fake sun is directly over my head. And you also see the minion driving the driving the vehicle with the New Mexico license plate with a minor in the vehicle. This is all legally relevant while they're engaging in the pattern of conduct on behalf of the state, monitoring with law enforcement who was at a car wash to engage in group stalking conduct. And also the police who I showed you in my previous video at 9:35 and in this video that I captured right now at 9:42 a.m. And they're crossing path on what is this side street. This is 7th Street. They're crossing path on 7th Street in relevant position. Directed light is on the wall while this demon is driving in the shade. The fake sun is right over my head. I'm in Chino, California, okay? Again, this is Soft Touch Car Wash, Performance Lube and Oil, where the pattern of conduct is underway. The address is 5246 Riverside Drive in Chino. Let me get images of it. All right, in United States Postal Service, that's driven by an employee, that's a female. And the vehicle number is 8204304, and that's how they're engaging in what is group stalking. You see them positioned, and that's whether I went into the property of the car wash or whether I continue walking on the sidewalk. They're group stalking at a gas stop. All right, you saw them doing that in Upland, California. You're engaging what is presence anywhere and everywhere. This is what group stalking is, and that's the feds. as you see them acting with law enforcement, as you see them acting with the demons that are the third parties, the people of the state surrounding. While that directed light is present there, that is speaking to the condition of all of those that I'm showing you in a video documenting the pattern of conduct of federal group stalking and monitoring. 8VKR899. And this is P.O.C. It's 9:47 a.m. I am at the intersection, by the way, at Central and Riverside Drive in Chino, California. 8GVK033. 7CRX214. 7NMA849. 8EIF835. 8ZRB330. 8NVF367. 19840D3. PGB3197, Texas. 5HDJ110. 7GAD787. PAP8OSO, 8NVF3, I think I read those already. Yeah. City of Chino, the municipality, 1582140, 8UAN823, 6KEV 416, I believe. 8E, oh, I can't see that one, 1217036. And I'm at the intersection of Central Avenue and Riverside Drive. And it's 9:49 a.m. 7UGU721, 7WYS952, 8KUU060, GK927K, that looks like Nevada, 7YTU404, 8NLN284, 7U, I can't really see the rest of them, 7MGL277, 6KGL404, 5NQL535. I think I wrote that one. W993AO. City of Chino, the City of Chino, the municipality, out in vehicle number 017 and vehicle number 409, driven by a Latino male with a lot of beard on his face. And license plate 1446133. That car is packed with third party and or state actors. The entity is monitoring documentation. 7TMB642, 7RFR425, 7GTG489, 8RNT587, 8H15644, and 1395364. That's the city of Chino with the mustache. 2212966 is U.S.P.S. the vehicle number. 1554965 is California exempt. 7P85. Oh, I can't really see that one. You scratch that one. 6JIH. Can't see that one either. You can scratch that. 8BMPO46. 8PTC191. 5 UNL549, I believe. 5 UNL549 now. 8 CPY119, 4 YWG556, 6 DRH513, 7 FRG947, 44768K1, 8 AKJ671, 8 RYD966. It's 9:51 a.m. 97961J3. 8KRD103, 7HCR105, 7UCT502, 33013E1. And this is the Chevron that you can see in my video where I'm at the car wash. They're located at 12886 Central Avenue. All right, all these demons engaging in synchronized activity creation. 6BYH931-05356C2. And again, this is the Chevron at the intersection of Riverside Drive and Central Avenue in Chino, California. And the address is 12886 Central Avenue. I want to make sure that's right. License 88SA313, 7FSS504, 8M40318, 7WPP149. G03694, 6FHB759, 7TVG619, 8HDU836. Alrighty, inside of the Chevron, which I just went on surveillance cameras, a directed light in the back of the store, and there's a fat white Caucasian. He's wearing sunglasses. He's group stalking with the Asian employee inside of that store while they're monitoring together. The fake sun is over the Chevron, and the entity is flashing directed light inside of the back of the Chevron. Not only have I documented this before, I've also documented inside of Chevron. You can reference my documentation in Upland, California at that Chevron where I am at that time in Upland, and the entity was keeping a fake sun. 8J45838 is a demon that's group stalking at gas stall number 10 while that directed light is being aimed inside of that Chevron. And they are stating, this employee is stating that they don't accept EBT there. License, it's 9:56 a.m. License plate, 5MJH503. Yeah, and he's wearing a cookies shirt. This is the one that's at his license plate. He's group stalking. He's at gas stall number 12 while directed light is flashing inside of the Chevron, okay? This is P.O.C. This is the same Chevron where I'm showing you the light source. That's over me at the car wash. Now it's over me at the Chevron. And license 6YAT686, the same, while the entity is aiming directed light inside of the Chevron. License 20141J2, the same, group stalking at gas stall number 6, while the entity is aiming flashing light inside of that Chevron. All right, and you've seen this inside of Dunkin' Donuts. I showed you this inside of KFC. Dunkin' Donuts is specifically the one that's on in Upland, California on Mountain Avenue. The KFC that's on Foothill Boulevard. The entity engaging in, I've shown you this inside of what is the Stater Brothers on Whole Boulevard. Patches of direct light just sitting in the back of their store. That's what they're doing inside of the Chevron right here. And this is group stalking at a gas station. That's exactly what the United States Postal Service is doing while I am showing you video of them in relevant position while directed light is coexisting with the group stalking presence of the people of the state and the Chino Police Department at that car wash. License, or 6428170, not a license. That's the demons of the United States Postal Service. The feds. Demons monitoring American citizens. 5DGT414. BOBS TWK. 7J. I can't really see that one. It's right there. 8TZF457. 6ZMR190. And that minion, that is again the fat white minion with, I'm sure he eats a lot of cookies. That's what his shirt says, while his breasts are piercing through that white t-shirt. He's group stalking in that Chevron, and that's a demon doing so while, again, they're just walking around present, getting your car washed, for example, while the elements of monitoring are underway. All right, that's the pattern of conduct. It's coexisting with what is the what's supposed to be the ordinary presence, what's supposed to be normal conduct, getting gas, but no, these are demons and they're engaging in what is a malicious system. License 6WBK105, and it includes, as you see, the Chino Police Department. License plate 1541186, vehicle 589. That's Chino Police. And pacing another vehicle, another Chino Police vehicle 1560985, vehicle 598. She's got train tracks on her face. She's wearing a dark brunette ponytail. She's got on a blue t-shirt. They're group stalking, and that's Chino Police at 9:59 a.m. License 8DFX922, 7EZL750, 7KDR663, 8PHZ846, 7MYC159, 6STM981, 8ZDK871, 6659383. 7AMU 518 5223 7S2. 7MBR 140. SUPURBE 7HAE 751 4S YX 614 CC1P, I can't really see that one, 6JIZ 161 8KUA 395, and it's 10 o'clock. License 6RXX 163. Capturing video right now at 10 o'clock and showing you what is my position. And first of all, documenting again, contrasting with, or rather juxtaposing with, because you're going to look at what is the time, you're going to look at what is the zenith over my head and where I am in other cities where that same zenith is ongoing with this light source, and that's not possibly the sun. 7MTD 163, 7PSM 170, that's speaking to the maintenance of an environment that is conducive for what is monitoring with communication devices amongst what are demon possessed. It's a demonic environment, and that is indiscriminate with regard to the identity of that demon that's in front of you. And as I've documented today, it includes the federal government, the United States Postal Service. It includes commercial actors. It doesn't matter what company vehicle that demon is in. It doesn't matter what uniform that demon is wearing. Identifying a commercial actor is nothing other than, again, another method of presence by that same government that's engaging in surveillance with communication devices in violation of existing federal law. And it does also, as you are witnessing, I've documented the Chino Police Department before, but they are demonstrating again as I'm documenting what is that same condition, and there is no exception whatsoever. And that's exactly what the documentation reveals, and that is speaking to, again, what is the state's pattern of conduct regardless of where it is in the state where the target individual is documenting the government. The people of the state are that vicarious actor, and the people of the state, all of them, are subject to that prosecution. All right, it is a prosecution that every single last one, person of the state, as they are within the state, residents of the state, to be subject to. U307PO 8VJH 619. And I captured that video at 10 o'clock in the morning at the intersection of Riverside Drive and Central Avenue in Chino, California. 8YHJ 679. Where again, I'm at the Fontana Lewis Library, as I've documented on many occasions. That is not over the Fontana Lewis Library roof. It's not moving over me as I'm walking into the door, and I'm showing you that light source that's moving over me as I walk toward that entrance. That's not over the roof, and it's not occurring at the same time. It's not visible where I'm at over my head, and also visible over the roof of the Fontana, hovering over that roof and remaining all day over that same venue, as though the sun is doing so everywhere, over everyone, in that same central manner over your head, all at the same time. This is not the case, and that's an impossibility, and it is plain asininity while I'm documenting what is, again, what you cannot hide, the fact that you are stalking with an entirely, cartoon-like environment. 8UWD187, and that's a reference to the demonic. 07916S1, 07916G1, 8HMW040. And it is present, it is ongoing, because criminal conduct is underway. It's directly tethered to that, and there is no exception. And that's why I'm able to capture as I go to, again, I go to Chino, and which I did on March 24th, which I arrived at a later time. And even at that intersection, while you can juxtapose it with the same time, 10 o'clock, I'm not at the intersection of Riverside and Central. I'm at the Chino Transit Center. That light source is directly over my head while I'm standing literally at the turn circle. And the employee of 2229 of Omnitrans and the other African American took pleasure in leaving me at the bus stop. They knew exactly where I was at. They were monitoring, and they crossed path, and they did so with directed light in the same way that these demons are that are crossing path. And that is not over the intersection of Central and Riverside Drive, AVKR 708. All right, and that's just when you're looking at even documenting, just comparing it to my presence at the same time in the very city of Chino. 8K57107. In order to have that, you have what is the maintenance of a light source that is moving, necessarily moving. You're witnessing the demonic as that is the case. That is exactly what's ongoing, and it is entirely demonic for you, DM221, and that is speaking to what is the condition of those that are in that environment, maintaining presence. And again, as I stated earlier, as I branch out, you're talking about what is forcing an entity to reveal itself, because they're engaged in the same conduct. These are demons. This is a demon-possessed population who are engaging in that pattern of conduct, and it is entirely demonic, and that is why the light source is there. Every other day when I'm not in Chino, California, you're talking about what is the maintenance of a dim. You think it's a dim, cloudy day when it's in Chino, and the light source is remaining over the Fontana Lewis Library all day long? No, it's the demonic. All right, this fallacy with regard to what is supposed to be one sun. Well, you're talking about, you can look on TV, you're just looking at light sources above, because that's not possibly the sun. While I'm showing you documentation of what's supposed to be the sun that's over me, and that's not the sun. It's never going to be present in the morning and in the evening over the same address. That's not the sun, and it's also not at the same time over anybody in another state, let alone in Los Angeles. All right, so you're talking about what is very specific over me, and that is coexisting with what is an impossibility, that there is only one light source. You're witnessing the demonic. That is the supernatural. In the same way that you see light just appearing while demons are driving cars. License 8131OG3. That's rider crossing path again. And the entity is engaging in this conduct while this is speaking to the ongoing pattern of what is monitoring in that specific space. That's why it's existing. That's why it's ongoing. And it is witnessing that which is impossible. In the same way that you are hearing, first of all, amplified audible activity is what I was going to reference. That which is impossible to hear, for example, the elevator inside of a bathroom, as I've exemplified, as I've captured it. You can hear it, but that's impossible that you would actually hear that, because you can't hear the elevator inside of the bathroom, inside of the stalls, at the volume that it is. When the elevator is, first of all, it's across the room, and you can't even hear that when you're outside of the bathroom. The elevator is not that loud. All right, and you're talking about what is maintaining a specific environment, and it's demonic, maintaining audible activity, maintaining light, and this is specific light, and then maintaining presence in that environment with that audible activity and with that light. That's what is demonic. And the maintenance of this light source in conflict with what are scientific facts, right? There's supposed to be only one sun that's constantly in movement. I'm showing you what is the maintenance of a light source remaining over me from morning until evening. That's impossible, but I'm documenting. I am capturing what is impossible to actually naturally be the case based on what we are told about the alleged sun. All right, that in and of itself is what I'm saying. It's impossible, but it's actually occurring, and that is a reference to the demonic, and that is present while you are in that environment. You are intentionally and knowingly in that environment engaging in the pattern of conduct. All right, and that pattern of conduct is also criminal. And so this is what I'm revealing when I'm capturing this light source that's today remaining in Chino, California. That's a total departure from being anywhere near the Fontana Lewis Library. You're remaining present as I'm showing at all times when I'm arriving at that library, as of late, as I have been doing, 8YPC 657 SoCal Gas. And the entity is keeping this light source over me while I'm in Chino today. Okay, I hop on the bus and you see that at after 7:50 a.m. That's not the actual sun, the natural order of the migration of the sun, while the entity is keeping it over Shiro's Liquor. And then I get on the Omnitrans Route 61 and it goes east on Holt, and that light source goes east on Holt, street for street, turn for turn. Ontario Airport, Archibald, Inland Empire Boulevard, Ontario Mills, etc. The San Bernardino Avenue, the entire route. The entity is keeping that fake sun as I capture after 7:50 a.m. while I'm still across the street from the museum where the entity keeps the fake sun as I get up in the morning. And then it proceeds to go south on Euclid Avenue. South, not east on Hope Boulevard. On Euclid Avenue, south. In the same way that it's going north as I remain on Euclid Avenue and I go to Upland. That's stalking with the light source. That is impossible with regard to what the entity is doing. All right, you're talking about what is just on very unique movement, unique based on what I am doing as I do it. as I go to wherever I go. And that is witnessing what is the stalker. That is characterizing that which is the demonic with legal terminology. And it is that which is subject to what is a prosecution, because the entity is using real people. The entity is using a very real government that's engaging in what is a matter of public corruption based on the identity of the criminal. It's the government. It's engaged in surveillance, and it's demonic while it does so, doing it in a demonic environment. All of this is capable of being captured under the law. It's terrorism. 8ZBL412. It is that which is entirely demented while a people is engaging in that condition, and they demonstrate it through what is directed light. Applying a nomenclature in order to prosecute in a federal court what is entirely criminal, and at the same time, it's demonic. Not impervious to prosecution whatsoever. All right, it is currently 10:13 a.m. and group stalking at the intersection 7SJT718, group stalking at Hope Family Dentistry, Clinica Dental Familiar, sitting at the bench, an African-American male monitoring as well. This license plate 8EFB741. Alrighty, showing you 5TDX413. This is the maintenance of presence. This is stalking by a people and maintaining very precise presence in the same way that the entity is doing so with light. 1099111, 8DCJ678. Waste management is right behind me as well at this same venue where this minion's sitting on the bench at third-party facilitating venue, Hope Family Dentistry. They're surrounding with the elements of monitoring. All right, waste management, the dumpster truck. You've seen this before. City of Ontario, the dumpster truck, they like to use that. That's light activity. Okay, flashing light, stalking in the path. 04316F1. And this dentistry office, this is the address of, looks like 12716 Central Avenue. That's a facilitating venue where ongoing group stalking is underway. 7VWX167, 8DST048. You can see these medical workers coming out engaging in the pattern of conduct. He's got his little face mask on going into the dentist's office where the entity is engaging in group stalking and surveillance at that facilitated venue. The light source is right over me. Stalking in the path as I'm walking on the sidewalk, entirely focused on me while I'm standing on the sidewalk, okay? That's P.O.C. It is currently 10:16 a.m. Excuse me, what's the address of your dental office? Is it 12716? Okay, that's correct? Okay, thank you. That's an Asian male. License 62406K2. 8ZIE875. 8NRY 264. 8MUB 875. FedEx crossing path. 5WBC 485, 7ROR 518, 69496J3, 8ZKN 451, 87071H2, 49073G2, 8G23881, 8SQY 412, Omnitrans 1545, 817, that's bus 2347. 8BRM 456, 6UBH 514. Oh boy. Okay, let's get some documentation of what's demonic on the grounds of the supposed Sacred Heart Center. All right, this is demonic activity that's on the grounds of what is an alleged church. That's what it calls itself. This is demonic. All right, this is not holy grounds, and this is criminal activity. 64002B3, 8MIS 671, and this minion is group stalking in the parking lot. 5TGN296, 6YTT233, 5NWP558, 5DEX939, 7YWH868. 8GWB449, 8RIT583, 7YWU309, 6EDG056, 8AJH417, 8S84604, 8NVV555, 7MOM824, 7VCP241, and it's 10:18 a.m. 8VBD172, 5GVV973. Alrighty, showing you what is that ongoing pattern of conduct underway, demonic activity at what is supposed to be, again, and I say supposed to be because it's not. I'm teaching you first of all about what is demonic. It has nothing to do with what a demon, because that's what they are, will call themselves. I'm a Christian. I love Jesus. Or I love Muhammad. Whatever religious, you can fill in the blank with whatever they want to call themselves, separating themselves. Let me be clear, the demonic is real. Whatever you want to refer to it, evil, generally speaking, if you don't want to refer to it as under the name, under a specific name such as Satan, because Satan is real, evil is real, the demonic is real. And you're seeing it through what is revealed to you, the impossible light activity. And it's right in front of your face. And it is speaking to what is an impossible occurrence, light manifesting, rich concentrated light that's creating shadows in the shade. And you're seeing that demonic conduct inside of the parking lot of what's supposed to be a church. It is not a church at all. And I just documented that demonic activity on the grounds. And that demonic activity is absolutely criminal. And I will be prosecuting this venue like every other venue as the people of the state. 62126M1. 8AFU344, 8JBG947-1942OJ1, 1170320, City of Chino, 5ULD767, 8HPC461, 7Y45562, 80726H2, 55354N2, 7ZJR563, 8VUH499. They're all group stalking in the parking lot, and then they're driving out, which is patrolling, one demon after another, crossing path. The license 7WRK644. License 6UFT388. Yeah. 8UKP912. This is the federal government. Got a federal plate on this Hyundai Elantra. G13-4435X. Alrighty, and I'll show you that, and I'll show you the light source while the federal government is here via the United States Postal Service as well. That's the feds as well. 7Y44973. And United States Postal Service vehicle 7202190. In the same plaza. I'm in a plaza that's adjacent to that fake church where I just documented the pattern of conduct. 8VWM666. 7MDD882, I believe. That's a demon. All right, and it's not separate in the next parking lot where that fake church is located. 8MOD882. Yeah. I'm sorry, 7MOD882. It's 10:24 a.m. LORRE hand M 86995D3 AWEM 848 7BJP164 JUJ1TSU 8WHF033. And this is the, what's the name of this? Oh, the El Central Real Plaza. All right, license 8WHF033, directed light while that demon crosses path. And that is inside of this plaza that I took a picture of that sign, but I'll be documenting that where I'm located. And again, all I did was go onto the grounds of what are unholy grounds, the same criminal activity and demonic activity. And that same unholy grounds of that church remains a relevant position while demons are pacing around in directed light in the parking lot at the El Camino Real Plaza. I'm just letting you know about what's going on. Holy grounds are not limited to a parking lot. Okay, 6ZPL999. Demonic activity is not limited as well. 8SIX674, 4LKX341. All I'm doing is stressing a common sense point to you. Understand what the demonic is. 8WHF033 is pacing, driving in the opposite direction. Brinks, demon driving that vehicle. 2756327, Brinks security. License 83146X2. License 8FAF958. 8SNV365. 6AGU997. And it's 10:26 a.m. Alrighty, showing you what is the fake sun over me at 10:31 a.m. I'm at license 4UDM221. That's a demon who's on their vehicle. That's a surface where the demons are stalking with light. 8XNR347. I'm at 12625 Central Avenue. This is the McDonald's at 12625 Central Avenue at the intersection of Mount Vernon and Central. Let me get pictures of this. Alrighty, and I captured that with regard to my location and the McDonald's and the entity maintaining that presence over me. 1560985 Chino Police and Rider 81309G3. And that's a United States Postal Service, a Latino male that's driving a Rider vehicle. All right, and this is an entity that's engaging in nothing but demonic conduct. There are demons that are taking turns crossing paths, hopping into different types of vehicles while they know that I'm documenting and the ways in which that I've created a system in order to document and identify. They're just hopping into whatever vehicle. And like I said, it'll be prosecuted against that company. You're talking about what is also the bigger picture, and this is the futility of it, and understanding what is also necessary with regard to legislation, the entity that is engaging in a pattern of intending to obstruct justice. You're not avoiding it. The people of the state, all of the people of the state are going to be prosecuted. And this is all the reasons why as well. 2199, I can't really see that one. Brizuela's Ironwork LLC. That was the license that I read, 62126M1. They were group stalking at the St. Mary Catholic Church, which is nothing but a title. They're demons that engage in congregating at what is a venue where criminal activity is also underway. 8YPPO24. And that is relevant to, again, the entity that is engaging in crossing a path. It is serving, it's spiritually significant. This is darkness, this is wicked, this is demonic. But it also is achieving what is monitoring. They're monitoring with communication devices, and that is relevant to what is crossing path, maintaining presence all around you. So it is demonic activity, and it is also serving that criminal system while they're engaging in this demonic activity. And the entity hopping into a rider vehicle, that's a communication of a demon, of a threat, of hostility, using particular logos while they're engaging in what is, again, spiritually and legally significant activity of crossing path. All right, this is a communication, and that is translated into what is reasonably construed as a threat, engaging in what is harassment by a third party using a commercial brand driven by the feds, because that was a U.S.P.S. employee. I saw the badge on them while they crossed paths, driving Rider in order to communicate a specific threat. Rider engaging in what is molestation of my person, but Rider's not different in that regard. But I have specifically documented, and this is a matter of documentation. Rider is going to be prosecuted, and sent documentation of that Rider going out of its way, which is nothing other than the entity acting by a company name. Remember that, HCLE223, engaging in what is arriving everywhere that I'm at while the pattern of conduct is underway. This is a stalker engaging in what is exceeding the conduct of the group stalking. Group stalking is whereby you don't have to. This demon going out of their way to cross path stalking. They're trying to enter the driveway, but it's blocked. License 8XMR047. And they're blocked trying to enter what is breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They're engaging in the pattern of stalking where it is that an open driveway is, an open pathway. And so they are intending driving into the driveway of Tom's. They're still crossing path. Directed light is on the ground while they do so. But it was obstructed with cones. But they're engaging in that pattern. So that's why I was laughing at that. But anyway, it's still crossing path. They enter in enough because they're engaging in what is group stalking conduct. But like I stated, using such commercial brand names is the way that a demon-possessed entity is also communicating a threat, communicating hostility. And so this is the entity that's providing that documentation. That's fine. You're going to understand what is demonic. You're going to understand the ways in which it's relevant to a prosecution of an entity and how the entirety of that entity is going to be prosecuted for that. 8RLN945. It is relevant to the ways in which a demon-possessed entity engages in terrorism. 17BT643, 7EEN282, 8JRR777, and engages in what is harassment. License 60518T2, excuse me, 5JUU963, L309NO, 7KLJ510, DC 22894, 5FUF 042, 6ZWX 74. Oh, I'll get that in a second. I can't really say that. BF1OU43 paper, 7Y41. I can't really say that. You can spell that. AGEE270, 5TDY 413, I believe. 8RLU157, 8PMD212. CA97Y36 paper, 8EBK943, 8VHN976, 5TPA764, 8KLP217, 8SZY665, California 333077. That's the number on that vehicle, the license, the California number and the license plate, 50544N1. And this license plate is 6ZWX746. And I'm again at Washington Avenue and Central Avenue. 6SCN116, 8SUG795. Seven PM P605. Seven SXL232. Eight EBL 509, 7 RLL 549, 20069E2, MRBMEN 7HLE 662, 9AAJ 923. 8NOK132, 8ZLW 997, RZNKAIN 6UNB 383. This is in the parking lot of that dental office where the African American males group stalking, sitting on the bench. Waste management is behind me, using that truck as light activity. The fake sun is directly above me, and the minions are crossing path using their vehicles, in doing so, engaging in crossing path conduct. So this is that third-party facilitating venue, that dental office, where that employee was group stalking using their vehicle, 64002B3, license plate 4VIH188. This is P.O.C. It is currently 10:43 a.m. and let me show you what is the return of the exact same conduct. All right. That is waste management. That's exactly what they were doing. And as they listen to me document, they come and repeat the same thing, emptying the same dumpsters where they were group stalking before. License 2506583. And the United States Postal Service comes to that third-party facilitating venue, group stalking with waste management, who's creating light activity, entering inside of what is, again, Hope Family Dentistry. All of their license plates documented inside of that parking lot. And this is the U.S.C. that's engaging in P.O.C. with them. Alrighty, capturing that iteration of the pattern of conduct, waste management and USPS quickly arrive at the dental office where I just documented, and at the same alley where they were creating light activity before, engaging in that. USPS covering up their entire face with sunglasses and a face mask, and hopping out. All they're doing is engaging in crossing a path, wearing a USPS uniform, and in what is the USPS vehicle. Remember, these demons handing over because there's no delivering mail after 10 o'clock in the morning, after 10 o'clock in the evening, where I'm on 630 North Fern, where the entity was maintaining directed light and stalking by helicopter as well, stalking by law enforcement. And you have a demon that was running around with a flashlight and hopping into a United States Postal Service vehicle, as I also documented that directed light while that demon hopped into that vehicle. Like I said, in the same way that USPS hopped into a rider vehicle communicating a threat using that particular brand in order to engage in what is demonic and criminal monitoring that the entity is monitoring with regard to my documentation. And in the same way, arriving at this venue where I'm documenting them, surrounding by waste management, engaging in concerted conduct with USPS, who may very well or not be, which is legally irrelevant. You're going to document, and the entity is going to be surrounded with and is going to be pounded with what is a prosecution. They can engage in whatever tactics they want. You can put forth whatever identity you want. The people of the state are all going to be prosecuted. And as I'm showing you what they're doing, that's exactly why as well. Not only based on the pattern of conduct showing you what is, regardless of where you're located and at what time, but also the conduct of psychopaths that are engaging in this conduct while they're monitoring your documentation, and the tendency to engage in what is deceptive conduct while they're aware of everything that you're documenting. Oh, no, you're not going to avoid that. Everybody's getting a prosecution, everyone. Carolyn Owens, Centennial Square is where I'm at. And license plate LIVEON. It's on the back of this RAV4 at the intersection of Central Avenue and Washington Avenue. And directed light appearing in front of me while I'm taking a picture of what is... my back is to that vehicle, so this is a demon that's touching me. It's white, and directed light is appearing in front of my face while my back is to them, while I'm facing this sign of this park where I'm at. It's 10:46 a.m. This is P.O.C. This Carolyn Owens Centennial Park is adjacent to what is Job Source. They are monitoring as well. And that was an entity engaging in what is, again, with immediacy, promptly arriving via the same dumpster truck company, the same alley, the same trash receptacles, emptying them in order to engage in repeating the exact same conduct that I was documenting as I'm doing it. That's an entity that's monitoring. That's a demon-possessed entity. That's a psychopath, by the way. And then promptly arriving by USPS, who's arriving in front of that venue. They're monitoring, and they're literally stalking from intersection to intersection. This is entirely demented. 8HCU 803. All I'm doing is documenting it for you because this is what is going on all around you. You're just not unaware of it. And it is ratcheted up with regard to what is the maniacal level of this conduct. It's already crazy what an entity is doing, a demon-possessed one. But then as I'm aware of it and I'm documenting it, they engage in even more of a rise in the level of desperation and the thirst. And I'm referencing in the vernacular right now when I'm referencing a thirst. This 8FOR020, this desperation, this determination, this ongoing, it's maniacal. That's the best way to describe it. It is absolutely... it's of the demonic. It's literally, this is of Satan, and it's beyond weird. But you're talking about what is a psychopath conduct. That's what USPS and Waste Management, they're acting on behalf of the entity. They're acting as one, and doing so while I document all those license plates at what is Hope Family Dentistry. That's also evidence against Hope Family Dentistry, which I don't need because the light source and directed light is ongoing wherever it is that I'm going, and that's a matter of documentation as well. But that stalking conduct arriving on both sides of me at that venue while I'm documenting it, that's demonic. All right, 12740 Job Source in relevant position. They're monitoring. License 8ZHH035. Bank of America across the street is monitoring. And again, I'm on Central Avenue in Chino, California. U.S. Bank is adjacent to that Bank of America. These are facilitating venues. Whoop. It is 10:49 a.m. Monitoring at what is 12770 Central Avenue. And they're also monitoring with the feds, the U.S. government. They just park their vehicle, and now they're crossing paths going to all these venues, which is group stalking. They're still monitoring. 12778 Central Avenue. The Inland Empire Escrow Building located at 12794 Central Avenue at the intersection of Park Street and Central Avenue in Chino, California. U.S. Bank at 12801 Central Avenue, monitoring with again, USPS is crossing path with the people of the state and Chino Police. All right, license 8YPP024. Citizens Bank at 12808 Central Avenue. HCU 803, 7CGY 818, 8V. I can't really see that one. It says this is 30FIXED 19812L2, Chino Valley Unified School District. Documenting them on the roads and the highways right here, 1361413, and also at their facilitated venue where I captured the fake sign over me this morning. Right in front of their venue, they were monitoring, and they're monitoring now. AP10344. 8X49518, 7L17006. That's a fat white male wearing glasses driving that red Dodge van of Chino Valley Unified School District with a California exempt license plate. I think I read that one already. 70403E3, 6LGZ4. I can't really see that one. It's 10:52 a.m. 8VBD172. Let's see, Coca-Cola crossing path at the same car wash / Chevron where I was at, 12886 Central Avenue. Coca-Cola's group stalking. Western Express crossing path. They're driving on Riverside Drive, turning onto Central Avenue right now. License 8HLE618, 7FYB076. 725. BF50S13 paper. 7258993, 7WOC 609, 1699960. CVB 024. License, I think I read there. Yeah, 7WOC 609. Lily White Minions, stalking. 7WGS 708. 45545Y2, and their demons that are stalking. 6JQT 587. 8BRX 520. 1871OJ3. 4PA 6582. That's on a Deluxe Transport LLC large truck. License 81487P1. License 17266L2. One 17072. That's Chino Valley Unified School District. 8EJV 749. I can't really see that one. 4DHK 742. 8YCX 832. 7FEC 839. 8WUZ 209. 7JQW 241. 8RJN 511. 7RFD 341. 4D1KMAN. 8PKH 248. 8KTT943, 8MAM654. V62557, GRMLINS, AX84J65, paper, 5SNH346, 8PBV107, 8WKM575, 8UZR863, 6LZE539, 5SGA418, 8KHG044, PWRCOM, 6UYG322, 7DVZ575, 7PHW101, 6WXM467, 6L91578, 6PKS300-01329K2, 7LLR184, I believe. It's 10:56 a.m. One 3631J1, 7BQF182, 8XZV069, 6769-1U2, 71751F2, 7UGU721, 71759C3, 8MFC242, 90670G2. It's 10:57 a.m. 7JBS083. Six EKV 779. 6NEU883, 35890L1, 6EZT384, 7FLR076, 5GOJ637, 7ACA592, 8YBV110, 7WO3984, 8MJC304, license 35540E2, 7NMR818. And what I did document, first of all, not only the light source above me, which is impossible to coexist while it's over the computer lab, over the window of the Fontana Lewis Library that faces Arrow in particular. And that's just, again, one of the many sides of that library where I captured the fake sun as it remains all day long, but not when I go to Chino, California. And I captured what is criminal surveillance by 8MJC304, doing what the entity is doing while they're crossing paths, because they're one entity. Repeatedly crossing paths is maintenance of presence in the same way that a demon-possessed stalker who I am identifying that's engaging in what is isolation and presence on, you're doing so on behalf of a government, that's criminal surveillance, and you're documented for that. You're engaging in a criminal act for that. And this is kind of, again, on behalf of an entity, but you're understanding what is maintenance of presence, which is criminal, and it's occurring at what is a law office. No respect with regard to what is identifying that same demon possession. Directed light is all over your building. You're engaged in surveillance. You're doing it with the government that's practicing a satanic targeting system. You're doing it in Chino, California under what is a light source that is, in other words, direct evidence of the pattern of conduct, because that light source is not possibly the sun while it's hovering over the computer lab window while I'm looking at it, showing you the demons that are using nothing other than a means of identification, bird tech waste industry, just like waste management, and this morning engaging in what is that ongoing demonic stalking conduct, using vehicles, stalking with whatever that they have at their disposal. All right. The entity via United States Postal Service, that's the feds, a sex offender touching me with directed light while they're hostile demons as I document them. And they're going to federal prison. All right, 8ENR012, the feds, they're going to federal prison. United States Postal Service. All right, that's why I've been documenting them and showing you what is no respecter, no difference, no deviation whatsoever with regard to that ongoing formula as I have revealed it to you. That light source that's not possibly the sun, that light that you see that's not possibly sunlight. And while you're engaging in what is a molestation, it's not separate from this demon 8DON648, the same entity molesting with directed light. All right, 8T54328. Whilst the United States Postal Service speeds by touching me with that direct light, that's the act of the demon possessed. And that is the same demon who I'm capturing while they're hovering in front of that property as I document the dentist's office, all those demons group stalking at that venue. All right, and that's the conduct of what are hostile demons that lose. Okay, not lose, they lost. All right, it is currently 11:05 a.m. and this is the maintenance of a light source over me, and it is not over the Fontana Lewis Library, which is just one single example. But you're speaking to what is, again, a very specific pattern of conduct. And while that pattern of conduct is underway, this is the government you're documenting, and the government shall not avoid being identified. All right, engaging in what is deception with regard to your identifying, publicly available identifying information. The government shall not threaten to harm you. The government shall not tell you not to document. And while they do so, while they engage in that defiance, you're witnessing the personality of Satan, because this is demonic. They'll go to federal prison for it. And that's what federal legislation is designed to address. All right, and that's exactly what you're witnessing. Engaging in what is the criminal conduct, which shall be the grounds of what is federal prison for every single last one. You're not engaging in waging an assault. That's the government that's engaging in an assault. A government that's threatening to do physical harm to you. And why? Because you're documenting what is a sex offender. You're mad because you're a stalker and you want to continue stalking because you want to be a sex offender, and it's being revealed what you're doing. And that's exactly what you're doing. That's exactly what you're doing, and you're doing it in all manner of what was never supposed to be known. So you're exceedingly hostile. All right, and even that is showing that you are a psychopath and a very violent one, a sexually perverted sex offender who is determined to engage in that system. That is relevant for what is federal prison. All right, and that's how you are addressing the government, because that's exactly what the people of the state are. It is the state of California. All right, it's currently 11:07 a.m. and this is P.O.C. Eight SIZ 205, 8 HVC 028, stalking with activity. 6 GPU 548, 8 WPK 998. 815 JM handicap, 8FJE 521, 5G CE 316, 7KW F107 6LUH 079, 7Y 88937. This is P.O.C. It's currently 11:09 a.m. Alrighty, is 11:18 a.m. at 11:17 a.m. while I'm standing at the that would be the circulation desk, I guess what you would call it in a library, but they're very small over here at the Chino Library, and the entity flashing directed light, and all these demons just saying, "Oh, I'm in here because I need to return some books, and I haven't been here in a long time. Can you help me?" And they're monitoring. And there are a bunch of demons doing so, directed light flashing inside of the library. So showing you what are the images of group stalkers, and this is again not just group stalkers. That is the identification of what is demon possession and what is criminal activity. It is currently 11:18 a.m. This is P.O.C. It's 11:38 a.m. What you're paying attention to is you're hearing what is the exceptionally loud noise, the rise in activity creation. And first of all, these are demons that are entering and exiting. This is called patrolling. And the door that makes no noise ordinarily when you would close it, when you enter into the entrance, is now a means of what is audible activity. And this is the amplified sound of what is a door closure, understanding this is demonic. All right, they're creating what is noise, which is exceptionally loud slamming of the doors. What it sounds like they're slamming it, but it's just a door that's closing as you are walking through and out of it, and it's it is at an elevated sound. This is the pattern. This is the pattern of conduct by the demon possessed who engage in what is activity creation, and that's why I wanted you to hear that. They're coming in, engaging in whatever line of inquiry they want. It really doesn't matter. They're group stalking in a library, so they're coming in. You're going to ask about what services you can get in the library, what sort of, can you help me update my information? It's called relevant positioning. Whatever those demons are particularly talking about is also a matter of what is audible activity, while the entity is using what you're hearing in the background, that loud sound of the door, while they're patrolling in and out. This is the pattern of conduct with regard to what is demonic. And it is the abnormally loud sound of what is nothing other than a door closure, which ordinarily you are not going to hear. Meaning not you are not going to hear what I mean. When I walked in, the door is not slamming. When you walk through the door, it's not a slamming door either. All right, it's a soft closure. It is a means of what is audible activity while demons are pacing in and out, and they're doing it under what is the light source. This is helping you understand what is demonic. The light source is over the building. This is how they're engaging what is demonic. All right, and they're doing so in concert. It's currently 11:39 a.m. and I just wanted you to hear that. This is the ongoing creation of the elements, and they also engage in what is this very sort of conduct, the maintenance of noise and engineered light, based on what I do as I do it, including on a communication device on the venue of the internet. And that is what is ongoing monitoring. It's demonic activity, but this is monitoring conduct. And it is also, while a demented pattern of conduct is underway by a people, this is what is also understanding what is terrorism and harassment by an entity engaged in the P.O.C. It's 11:40 a.m. inside of the Chino Library. This is P.O.C.
Ok, ¿te acuerdas que eso ya no está disponible mañana? No. Entonces, ¿qué hacemos? Yo nunca he hecho mis taxes sola. No podemos regresar el tiempo, no me acuerdo ni qué día. ¿Manda? Sí. Ok. Nomás te quería dejar saber para ver si quieres encontrar conmigo.
It's 4:09 p.m. This is operation of a communication device and ongoing maintenance of audible activity while stalking in the path inside of the venue and acting in concert with the minions and group stalking, sitting at the adjacent desktop and pacing back and forth with regard to, again, monitoring what I'm doing on the internet, and as I'm doing it, also stalking with what is audible activity. And this is the minion who you're hearing. That's operation of a communication device, audible activity creation, and what is directed light, and the ongoing environment that I've captured upon entrance, which is pursuant to an ongoing P.O.C. This is group stalking inside of the library. It's 4:10 p.m. It's criminal summoning at 4:53 p.m. It is same venue, Chino Library. All elements remain present. Group stalking in the Chino Library, and the same relevant positioning as I documented. As you hear, audible activity and relevant position. It's 4:54 p.m. Alrighty, license 8RGW388, 8HSS092, 7XOT743, 8XSN901. 8GQG961, 8FKG214, 8GHV981, 8YTL750, 5PRE399, 8WUK111, 8NUE634, 5CCF179, 7STA451, 8PR8349, LILCHKS, 8GQW982, 8CSD943, 4ULW357, 6JEX 407, 5CGM263. And it is 5:02 p.m. License plate capturing video at 5:02 p.m. at the Chino Library, where I was this morning at 11:09, and the light source is squarely over my head, and it remains in alignment with me hours later. It's 5:02 p.m. So that is impossible in every regard, and this is the pattern. That impossibility, a pattern. What's the entity doing at Fontana as of late, where I'm going? Not as of late, because I documented Fontana Lewis Library before. But again, those with a short-term memory, especially with regard to what is capturing criminal conduct by government. Everybody has a short memory. What the entity has been documented as engaging in is keeping a light source that is not possibly the sun, and that's why it's referred to as a fake sun. All right. You're talking about what is a light source that is indeed over me. It's in the sky. You are assuming that that's supposed to be the sun, but the term sun has actually a scientific definition and conduct that it would abide by. And this light source is not doing that. This is a reference to and revealing what is the demonic. All right. And the light source remains here over the over the Chino Library, which I captured at 5:02 p.m. And I'm referencing what is the Fontana Chamber of Commerce, where at 5:02 p.m. that light source remains there, okay, after exiting the Fontana Lewis Library. All of those demons inside of that library over here are engaging in surveillance, as I heavily documented Chino again today, because remember, as you'll recall, I documented them on March 24th. And them is the same entity. It's the state of California. And this is the entity that's engaging in the pattern of conduct as I remain in Chino. And the entity, again, leaving Chino, the light source remained over me as I went to Fontana. And that's what I'm reminding you about while you're looking at it. 6 hours later, while I'm capturing it over me at the same venue of what is the Chino Branch Library, San Bernardino County venue, 6JEX407, 5CGM263, 7HHPO39. And that's what I just captured on video right now. And everything that is ongoing, this is the maintenance and obsessive stalking conduct. And it is that which is pursuant to an ongoing pattern of conduct, which is also documented. And so this is at the understanding what is the demonic. You're present in that directed light. You're present engaging in what is crossing a path, them going to and coming from their cars. You see the directed light while demons engage in that conduct. That's exactly what they're doing. And this is understanding what is that psychopath. Chino Valley Fire, crossing path. Alrighty. Wanted to capture that image because I can't see their license plate. They are crossing path under that fake sun that's remaining over a venue where I'm at, which is within the pattern. That is the state acting directly in doing so. Alrighty, it is currently 5:10 p.m. This is P.O.C. Alright, these demons who you see posing an impermissible threat on video under the fake sun that's present at the Chino Library, license 8DTH010. This old biddy serving Satan to the very end. Gonna cry. License 8ZDL117. She's old as dirt, okay? And she's stalking, studying her communication device, posing what is an impermissible threat, and you're understanding what's going to be. Again, as you witness the demonic conduct, the terrorism that an entity engages in, there's nothing passive about that. It is in every regard determined, all right? These are the same demons that are molesting with directed light while I'm walking down the street, while I'm sitting on the bus, while I'm sitting inside of any building. And the entities surrounding with what is light that is being aimed inside of the venue in an impossible manner. This is how you know that you are a target, and it is in every regard an unlawful threat that the people of the state who you see in this video, group stalking on video, engaging in what is the grounds of what is federal prison. All right, and that's the entity that's stalking by helicopter, stalking by law enforcement, doing so by third parties. Again, the government engaging in what is unlawful and then doing it unlawful through what are the people of the state who you are are supposed to be unaware of the fact that that's what they're doing. But this is in no way concealed. It is not covert, and it is the grounds of what is federal prison. And that's the way that you are necessarily dealing with a demon possessed entity stalking and monitoring with law enforcement. Chino police crossing path right now. You saw the video. They're engaged in what is that demonic pattern of conduct with 8DTH010, 8ZDL117, the Chino branch San Bernardino County Library, and doing so with knowledge of the fact that I'm documenting, and that's exactly how the people of the state shall be subject to what is federal prison. All right, they are threatening in concert with that entity. In the same way the entity is stalking by helicopters and airplanes, they are threatening along with that entity. 6LPA 441, 5WBS 384, 5CGM 263. Alrighty, and it is currently 6:12 p.m. and that's video that I just captured, and that is the P.O.C. All right, license 6LPA 441. Engaging in group stalking. How so? Waiting until I start walking, exiting the venue to start their vehicle, stalking in the path with light. Sex offender monitoring while I'm in the bathroom. License 5CGM 263. On surveillance cameras inside of the library, maintaining presence, conversing with the librarian. AMRTRNO. They're stalking in the path. By maintaining presence in the path. It is currently 6:46 p.m. and I just captured video at 6:38 p.m. specifically, and that's just, I could have captured video at 6 o'clock in the evening, all right, because it's going to make what is the same point, the impossible maintenance of presence of a light source that is not the sun. And it is impossible. It is a scientific impossibility. It's a scientific fact that that's not the sun. This light source that remains over me, it is revealing. It is a reference to, it is the identification of what is a demonic environment. And this is serving what is also criminal. And it is a matter of what is public corruption. License 7RSR739. And so subject to surveillance as I am today at the Chino, in the city of Chino, as I've been here since the morning. And today I did not get back on the bus and go to Fontana like I did on March 24th. And you're going to reference that documentation. But 7GEL371, again, that is probative. It's specifically relevant. I mean, it's very specific with regard to what I did in Chino. And if that's the sun, which it's not. The sun's not remaining directly over a specific vehicle that I'm inside of as I leave the city of Chino and then go back to Fontana, and then it stays there, setting into the Fontana Lewis Library. That's not the sun. That's not conduct of the sun. That's speaking to what is exclusive maintenance of a light source that's following me as I go east to the city of Fontana, where it's setting there, which is also backwards, while I went farther west in the morning time, and then the entity maintained a light source east of the city, and then doing so as though that city that is east, it's in perfect alignment with me remaining over my head and inside of the building that I'm at, aiming light into the building where I am located, while remaining in that city east and not moving any direction west whatsoever, which you see through not only the object itself, which you continuously see, but also the light that's being aimed into the venue of the library. So yes, I'm referencing March 24th, because this is the exact city that I came to. But like I said, the totality of the documentation, all of this is speaking to what is an ongoing pattern of what is an environment that is maintained around, and it's demonic. All right, this is the provision of literally the demonic and speaking to what are the demon possessed. All right, however you want to reference that, those that are of Satan, those that serve Satan, whatever you want to refer to Satan as, it's entirely abnormal. It's entirely demented. It is sick. It is evil. Whatever adjectives you want to fill in the blank with. It is in every regard that which is a scientific fact that it's not the sun. With regard to what scientists tell us about the sun, what we read about in textbooks, and that is by virtue of what is the maintenance of this light source. That's why I refer to it as that. That is remaining over a building, as I'm documenting, from the beginning of the day to the end of the day. You're looking at what is common sense with regard to this light that's inside of the building. Oh, it's shooting horizontally through the windows. Oh, is that the case? Really? No, that's not sunlight, and that's a matter of common sense. All right, you can look at that and observe that on your own as I'm pointing it out, but also you're understanding what is also following. This is a pattern. This is a pattern, and this is a pattern that I documented today as I remained in Chino, and I did not go back to any city of Fontana. I didn't get on the bus at all. I remained, but yet on March 24th, the light source is not remaining in, for example, Chino, California. It's remaining over me as I go to Fontana every step of the way. Okay, so let me document this license plate. Omnitrans is touching while they are on the turn circle leaving the venue. So, Route 88, license 1370395. That's a sex offense. That's the company Omnitrans touching while they're on the opposite side of the street, driving on the turn circle. License 1399978. Hello. This is, I think I'm looking for. All right, so with regard to what is that's touching in this license plate, they're monitoring together. So this is Omnitrans license 1399978, bus 1263. He appears to be an African-American male that's operating that bus. It's Route 85. And also present in relevant position is Omnitrans Route 83, whose license plate I will read right now. This third party, 8TQC441. Omnitrans is relevant. OmniRide, license 88844B3. And Route 83 is here, license 1387141, bus 1265. It's 6:51 p.m. I'm documenting what is the African-American who engaged in the threat of violence, who, again, on the bus revealed the employee number was 3424. And as on my podcast, you hear me asking her employee number when we're at Fontana Metro train station. And then she commenced to lodging insults and then stating that she was going to F me up and she doesn't give a F. She's behind me while I'm at the stall for bus 83, for Route 83. And she's like, you can get on, as though she didn't know who I was. This is the pattern of conduct. This is how the entity engages in showing hostility. Anyway, she says, oh, you can get on, and then she makes an about face. This is P.O.C. the entire time, but this is as though she doesn't know. Oh, and because it's me, it's different. She gets on the bus, she closes the door, and then she's an operation of her communication device, and she is making a false allegation while she's monitoring on the phone in directed light, part of the same molestation that I just documented, and she is stating on her phone while she walks away, and in order that I can't record what she's saying on her phone, she's lying and she's monitoring, period, and she's going to federal prison. But you have what is her stating on the phone, from what I heard, that I'm harassing her. That's what she just said. It is that whole conversation that I had with her is documented. Everything that I never spoke with her when I was on the bus, riding the bus, and all I asked her was her. So like I said, I don't even have to go through that because it speaks for itself. But I want to be clear, this is harassment by an entity who is, again, hostile because I sat in Chino and documented today. This is how the entity engages. This is the pettiness of Satan. It is 6:54 p.m. and this is another iteration of what is the exact same harassment. This is harassment by an entity and utilizing, again, in the same way the entity will use, for example, Ryder or Centos, as you saw today, pacing under the fake sun while I'm at the United Methodist at the intersection of Riverside Drive and the cross street, which I cannot recall right now, but it was right in front of the Chino Unified School District. Okay. The entity engages in using third parties and or state actors who have previously engaged in an act of harassment or an act of violation of you in some sort in order to engage in harassment. That's what she's representing. That's what she's here for. That's what this is. First of all, this is Route 83. I never come to Chino. And this is, we don't know her employee name because it was misrepresented on the bus, stating that her bus employee number was 3424, as I read it on my podcast at 11:02 a.m. And then in the evening, a Latino male is driving the bus, a different bus, all right, in the evening, all right. This is after I've spent the time at the library. And the employee number displayed for that Latino male is the same, 3424, which I noted. I did not document that number because I noticed that it was exactly the same. But I did take a picture of that driver. And I documented what is the license plate. And this is, so like I said, her image is captured already. And everything that was exchanged between us is also captured. And I want to document what is the entity engaging and what is its pattern. And this is, you're dealing with what is the demonic. And so not only is it petty, but you're talking about what is also ongoing evidence, and everything that is stated, even lying, as you're engaging in what is audible activity creation and monitoring, which is what she's doing. And this is also the petty devices that Satan itself, the demon possessed, engage in while I document them. And the documentation remains on the record. So you're talking about what is the P.O.C, and she's going to federal prison. She can add on to that whatever she wants, but that's what she got on the phone, stating that I'm harassing her, and I find that to be very rich, entertaining. 6:56 p.m. All right, did you call your supervisor or what's going on? Is it okay? Well, you threatened before. You act like there's a problem.
Listen, this is why I don't want you to ride. Either you're going to come here and talk to me, or you're going to be combative all the time.
No. I wasn't combative last time. We could have talked before.
No, you were.
No, you said you're
There's a
born.
problem with recording people,
You know what it means
and
when.
following people,
How many times have I met you?
asking us all
What are
these
you talking about?
questions.
You're pulling stuff out the air
Now you're
again.
forgetting.
No, I don't forget
This is the
nothing.
problem right
I don't
here.
forget
can't deal
nothing.
with this while
You
I'm
can make up
driving.
whatever you want.
All
You
right,
said I'm
so
gonna
you
F
take
you
the
up.
next one, okay?
You said I'm gonna F you up, and that's not a conversation.
Listen,
That's what you
I'ma tell
said.
you
So
this.
call your supervisor and tell them that.
You like
While you said I'm
harassing
harassing
people?
you. How many times have I met
you
you?
do it to
What did
all
we
of
talk
the
about?
drivers.
What did
You
I
do
talk
it to all
about?
of the
What did I talk
drivers.
to you about? What did
And
we
that's
harass about?
annoying. And
I
it's
asked you
not
your
cool.
employee number,
You make
right?
people's lives
Yeah,
harder
so you're
than
lying. All you're
yours
doing is
are.
talking over me because you're lying. That's why.
I don't
A
have to
conversation
lie.
does not include I'm gonna F you up and I don't give a F. That's how gangster you were the other day when you wanted to talk. All right? You're sitting here lying right now. You're lying right now. So, like I said, you call your supervisor and make it up. You do whatever you want. Everything you're lying about is also documented. While you acting like we've had prior encounters and we haven't, minion. Okay? So that's P.O.C. and you hear her over talking about come here. She's talking about she's going to F me up the other day when I asked her employee number. So all you need to tell me is, what did your supervisor say since you went out of your way to call and talk about I'm harassing you? We've never spoken before. The first time I spoke to her was when I asked her employee number, and you heard her response to it. I'll F you up. I don't give a F. All right. And then I immediately went into video because I'm going to capture that. That's exactly what happened. And so while she's talking about because you don't want to talk, no, you engaged in making a threat. So like I said, this is a minion that cannot engage in what is dealing with what are the consequences of the words that come out of her mouth. And it's a reasonable response to engage in all I would like is an answer to the question, because you stopped me from getting on the bus for no reason. And then you're on your phone in order that I can hear telling somebody that I'm harassing you. We've never had an encounter. You're the one that engaged in making a threat, and that's a matter of record, which this minion also knows because she's monitoring. This is a psychopath. Like I said, so they can say whatever you want. Everything she's stating is audible activity. Remember that. She's literally standing in directed light while she does it. All right, so you're talking about what has come here. I'm not going to. All she needs, I'm standing right here in front of the bus. Can I get on the bus or not? And she didn't want to answer that question. And that's all she needed to do was answer. You're not making demands that people come here. Can I get on the bus or not? And then you're talking about what you're listening to is, again, just over talking because you don't have a response that's truthful or logical. It is 6:59 p.m.
I'm gonna leave. Are you gonna ride?
Okay. That's all I was asking for.
Come on.
That's what I was asking for before. Where's my mask? Would you like to see my bus pass? You want to see it?
It's worth it.
It's electronic.
All right. All right.
I guess. That's audible activity creation. Anyway, that's, if you could hear me, my phone was in the pocket, so I am on the bus. Everything that I'm documenting is a matter of public information. I'm literally prosecuting an entity that's witnessing it, and that's also why you have what is stalking with activity while minions engage in touching me and doing more with the directed light, for example. It's like a demon hitting you, and they're doing it with directed light. It's how they show hostility. It's also how they monitor, and it's also how they are engaging in what is going to be prosecuted as sexual violence and terrorism and harassment. But anyway, as I'm standing outside of the bus and I'm continuously documenting, then you have, this is a conduct literally of a psychopath while you listen. She doesn't want to answer the question. She stops me from getting on the bus when I arrive. She's the one that had a problem in the first place when I asked about an employee number. And why? Because she's a minion who's being documented while I'm not referencing her. We've never had a conversation. Okay, you're talking about sitting up trying to lie. You can't outthink me. I don't need to make up stuff. You're the one that's being documented. You're lying. And that's also why you document, because you're dealing with Satan, okay? Satan is a liar. And this is a minion who wants to stop me from getting on the bus, and then is letting me back on the bus. That was all to engage in what is harassment, okay? It was the pattern of conduct, and the guise is harassment. That's all that was about. So I just want to make that clear, understand what it is, using this particular minion, and also engaging in what is harassment by saying I can get on the bus, and as though this demon doesn't know who I am. She knew exactly who I was. That was all a bad act, essentially. 5AHC924. That was all a bad act. She knew that I was coming. Her presence driving this bus route is intentional. This is the entity that engages in that pettiness, and it's pathetic. While they're engaging in this pettiness, I'm speaking to what is a federal prison, and that's exactly what I decree. That's exactly what's happening. That's exactly what's going to be the result. And this pettiness, again, this is no small thing with regard to the ordinary targeted individual, subject to what are all kind of methods of you're seeing while an entity is acting via third parties and state actors wherever you are. You're not dealing with a person that's in their own skin with regard to their own identity, their own individualized identity. While you're subject to surveillance, you're dealing with the government that wants to engage in harassing you, not letting you on transportation while you're abandoned, engaging in making up information. Okay, that can easily precipitate into, or not precipitate, easily escalate into what is, I'm going to call the cops on you because you're harassing me. I mean, that's the type of nonsense that minions engage in. So I just want to point this out. It is very much relevant. Everything that you are saying while you're monitoring, it's a matter of what is criminal defamation. It's a matter of what is harassment by an entity. It's a matter of what is terrorism by an entity. And it is that which is pivotal with regard to the government's conduct, which is absolutely unlawful. And it's unlawful while it's doing it through third parties and or state actors. All right, but mostly I'm focusing on what are third parties, because it is more clear how inappropriate it is for for example, police officer to engage in what is blatantly harassing. Not saying that doesn't happen, okay? But I'm talking about the pattern of conduct the federal group stalking and monitoring specifically. So you have what is, again, the government utilizing people. And when you're ignorant about a pattern of conduct that federal group stalking and monitoring, you're just thinking somebody just being mean to you on the street, all right? They just don't like you. They're just talking crap about you because they're just a mean person, and it's not about that. This is conduct on behalf of an entity. You're subject to surveillance, and it's also demonic activity. You're dealing with demons who are harassing you as an entity while placing you under surveillance on behalf of a government. So their proper identification is that accordingly. While the pattern of conduct is underway, everything you're saying, making false allegations, engaging in any sort of defamation, engaging in any sort of what is harassment while you're monitoring, yeah, you're going to be prosecuted for that. The government doesn't have a right to do it, and it's not going to do it through any pissant third party. Okay, so it is 7:04 p.m. and so what I want to point out was that was nothing other than an engagement in what is a method of harassment before getting on the bus. That's all that was, and it's so petty, it's so small. Okay, and this is the kind of conduct that I am encountering. It's the pattern of conduct I'm still documenting. K3 Heart 4EBR, and doing so while the bigger picture, while you're engaging in pettiness. I mean, you're talking about what is a tabulation for federal prison, for federal charges, because it's not a game. All right, there's nothing petty about federal group stalking and monitoring, and you will be going. So anyway, it's 7:04 p.m. This is P.O.C. 7VPS 356, 8GXG 457, 8DJY 315, 8M 7YJF 454. UEL 474. Yeah, there we go. Already. 8XRP 134. 7YLS 749. GOANGE 6WIN 322. 17624J3 8TED 846 8VSA 709 5SRC 977 7UGP 289 8P50. Oh, I can't really see that one. 8W73425. I think I read that one already. 5MNK188. 8GKH738. 8MN. I can't really see that one. 5MNK18. I think I read that one already. 9489. I'm sorry. 91489D3. 88LJ484. 6WTN322. 8KKT709. 8UVX 656. 6PMR 857. Sitting in the middle of the street with their hazards on. And at Sizzler, third party facilitating venue 228 Mountain Avenue. Third party with their hazards on in front of that Sizzler, a facilitating venue. 8NIZ 229. 5P60562. 8WUG 169. 8YFL033. 8NE425. 8V57914. 83 while it was parked at stall 84, but it displayed Route 83. And this is going on what is Mountain Avenue. This is not the route for Route 83. I took Euclid Avenue, and I want to be clear, that's also deliberate. And in addition to what is this driver driving this particular bus, And also, as I've documented, the way the Omnitrans swaps its routes, engages in all manner of what is chicanery with its signage. And so while I was looking, this is the only bus that was left. You have what is parked at the, as I documented those buses, that was the African American driving Route 85. This bus, the sign said Route 83, while I noticed it was parked in the stall for Route 84, but it said at Route 83 on the bus. And I just want to document, we are on Mountain Avenue at Mission, and this is intentional. The entity knows that I'm documenting on specific routes. The entity is following with the fake sun, but I'm documenting what is the pattern of conduct, and I want to point that out. In addition, it's also intentional that the same driver is arriving at that bus stop, and it is not going the Route 83 like was displayed on the bus. 40156S1.
Free programs for local families and children under age 5. Enroll today. For more information, call 888.
And I'll tell you what's also relevant to that. The entity that's following, as I would go back up Euclid Avenue, that entire route, and as I would get more documentation of what is that fake sun on Euclid Avenue, going north up that same street like it was at 8 o'clock in the morning, which I already have hundreds of videos of the entity stalking with the light source. But again, I will document this as well as what is, again, another tactic of what is not only harassment, but also obstruction of justice while you're monitoring documentation. License 8467, I can't really see that one. 5PXG487, 7P37763, 8LDH428, 76557W2, 40156S1, 29378P1, 6A, I can't really see that, 64A0217, that's what it was. That was intentional. 8GLG473. It is 7:15 p.m. I'm getting off the bus now. Alrighty, this is bus number again, 1265, license 1387141, and capturing the image of that third party operating that bus, who again on the day where I captured her threatening activity, she that bus, I'm not going to say she identified herself by virtue of what is that display on the bus as employee number 3424. Which was again repeated on the evening bus that I took, driven by a Latino male. And again, that's license 1387141. I am at what is Mountain Avenue and Holt Boulevard in Ontario. And Ontario Police, vehicle number 1028, group stalking at the intersection. Monitoring with that minion, monitoring with American Medical Response. They are all aware of the documentation with which I'm going to prosecute them with as well. It's the conduct of an entity that's acting as one. 8RDW063. It is 7:17 p.m. Alrighty, license plate 90808B3, 5SAH579, 8SJC208, 6EUK274, 8GLG473. You're going to, I just captured video right now, first of all, while I'm in Ontario, and I got off of Route 84, so that is going down what is Mountain Avenue, north specifically on Mountain Avenue, and then getting off at Hope Boulevard. 90808B3, molesting. While the entity is maintaining a light source where I'm coming from the city of Fontana, east of the city of Ontario, the entity is maintaining a light source in alignment with that bus Route 61 that drives from the Fontana Metrolink train station toward the city, and the entity maintains a light source from Fontana to that in alignment with the bus, through the windshield, through the windows, and doing so as I arrive to what is Ontario, okay? Today I'm coming from what is Chino, and the entity is maintaining a light source, as I show you upon my maintenance at 6:38 p.m., where the entity is maintaining a light source and I'm in Fontana at 6:38 p.m. The light source is never reaching Ontario. It's remaining at the Fontana Metrolink train station. It's remaining over the bus that I'm on, in alignment with the bus, while the bus drives, for example, south on Sierra from the train station, and then drives west onto Marigold, and then drives north onto Juniper, and then drives west onto San Bernardino Avenue. The entity is keeping that fake sun in alignment with that bus. This is also understanding what is, not only is that impossible, as I'm coming from, again, Chino and Fontana, vastly different. Maintenance of that light source, absolutely impossible, but it's equally impossible while it remains over me in Ontario and Fontana. It's the same. You're talking about what is, today I just remained in Chino today. And this is ongoing documentation, which is speaking to the same exact pattern as I've already demonstrated. The entity is engaging in what is the maintenance of the light source in alignment with where I got off of the Route 84, coming from Chino, getting off at Ontario, where you see the entity stalking by law enforcement, and American Medical Response was also in relevant position in doing so as I get off of that bus, okay? That's what you're paying attention to. The entity is still stalking with light, and you see what is that pattern until nightfall, okay? Maintaining alignment. You see that luminescent, that light that's in alignment with where I'm at that intersection, where it remained all day at the Chino Library. I just want to point that out when the entity is engaging in what is the pattern of conduct. That's exactly what you see, and that's exactly what I just captured on video while the Ontario police are group stalking as I get off of the bus. All right, it is 7:21 p.m. and this is P.O.C. Crossing path, AVEC 322. 65425H3. Seven KKG 092, 8 JTJ 834, 6 JGN 447. Seven BGT 996. I am pointing out, for example, what I'm speaking to the video that I just captured. While I'm at Mountain Avenue and Holt Boulevard, there is the greater picture. So I'll give you another example. This is the same street where I am present, for example, at the Starbucks at the Golden Bear Inn. This is the same Holt Boulevard between Mountain Avenue and San Antonio, where the light source is here in the morning. That is, again, understanding the light source maintaining presence around me, and I'm here at this same strip of street that is non-movement of a light source that is not the sun. All right, and you're going to reference documentation where I'm at, and Ontario Police and AMR and the people are group stalking on the same street, Holt Boulevard, where Mountain Avenue is. The light source is, not only is it in alignment with me, it's in alignment with me where you're talking about less than 2 miles where the museum is, at the same end of what is Holt Boulevard, over there off of Holt and Euclid. The entity keeping a light source at Holt and San Antonio. The entity's keeping a light source directly over my head in the morning. That is the same pattern. Okay, this is speaking to what is a very small maintenance of presence of a light source that is not the sun. All right, and that's also what you're recalling while you're looking at what is, again, not the actual sun that would be setting over what is, you're looking at it on the same street where it's present in the morning. Mountain Avenue is not far from what is San Antonio. Okay, it's a couple bus stops. It's not even, I could have walked right now, but I decided I'll just wait for the bus. But in other words, this is the same strip of street where the entity's light source is directly over me. And not only that, capturing documentation, the entity setting a fake sun into the depths of what is the Stater Brothers at 646 West Hall. And by into the depths, I mean just like you saw inside of the Chino Branch Library, and just like you see inside of the Ovid Family Community Library, just like you see inside of the Fontana Lewis Library, as then the sun is then setting so low that it's reaching underneath the structure. That is a an extensive structure over the Stater Brothers at 646 West Hall, and my documentation showing the entity aiming directed light through that entrance door. That's the same Stater Brothers where it's present over me as early as 8 o'clock in the morning. I documented it, and that's before daylight savings time. Okay, the entity is engaging in what is maintenance of a light source wherever I am all day long, and that is documentation that already exists. It's over me on this same little street in the morning, and here it is in alignment after I left Chino Library, where it remained for an excess of 6 to 7 hours, and then as I get off the bus, it's still in perfect alignment with me. Okay, that is the pattern of conduct, and it that is the ongoing documentation. Again, this is why you document, because you're showing what is the same conduct, what is the same impossibility. That would be, in other words, the sun didn't go anywhere. It's rising and setting on Holt Boulevard right here. All right, between what would be essentially Euclid Avenue, where the museum is, where I get up, and then or Fern Avenue, where I was in the vehicle. That's still off of the same street, and Mountain Avenue right here. That's not the sun. All right, so that's also what you're recalling. Like I said, it is stalking with the light source. It is revealing what is the demon possession, but I've already demonstrated that. I've already showed you what is the demonstration of demon possession by third parties and the state. Federal group stalking and monitoring is satanic, and it's entirely criminal. 6XAC 799. BN25. I can't really see that one. That's a paper plate. It's 7:25 p.m. License 8SQV690, 7PCV595. And then just take a step back and look at what I documented today. It's in alignment with the same entrance that I entered in this morning, the Chino Branch Library. It's directly over my head at the McDonald's at 10:31 a.m., where it's supposedly over the roof of the Fontana Lewis Library. And then as I leave the Branch Library in Chino, California, and get on the bus and get off at Holt and Mountain Avenue, that is the sun that's in alignment with me after being over the entrance of the Chino Library all day long. I'm asking a question that I already know the answer to. No, it's not. And this is paying attention to what is nothing other than a pattern. License 8TGV984. A pattern that is speaking to what is an impossible occurrence, an impossible incident with regard to what is not under no circumstances the sun. Alrighty, and so that's 7:26 p.m. This is P.O.C. Seven GBC 437, 8WEF 166, 8PYT 349, 8UAF 596. Demons swirling around at the Chevron. They're just and they're on surveillance cameras. They're just patrolling around with their headlights. They're being demons. It's entirely pathetic. This is sickness. They're stalking while they're at the Chevron, and I'm standing at the bus stop. License plate 93C806. That's Nevada. 7FKN 793, 7EIE 014, 8TCC 919, 79878H3. 6UEX 027. BOY 688. XWG 034, 8CEA 029, 9AUA 9AUA534, 8TJU842, 8MDZ105, 6XWZ, I can't really see that one, 1899, 6J1, I believe, 9AUA569, 8YTY875, 8NNP668, 8UGS274, 8UJK208, 7NSJ549, 7LJD058, BMR237, that's out of state. License 6MLR904, 8KID 183, 5EPP071, 7TOC 494, 8MKY 888, 7CGZ 292, 387L71, I believe that's Nevada. Oh, and there's also documentation that I captured. The entity engaging in what is setting, quote unquote, and I put that in air quotes because it's not the sun, but the entity was engaging in keeping a fake sun over Starbucks all day long while I would sit in there, work on my case. This is 2019, 2020, setting the fake sun into the depths of the Starbucks, all right, at 706 West Holt. That's documentation that exists as well. All right, license 39950C3, 7BVT720. The entity is doing what it's doing with its light source based on where I am and where I'm coming from, what direction I'm going. All right. So while I remain, in other words, at Hope Boulevard inside of the Starbucks, the entity kept its fake sun over that building all day long, never advancing to what is Mountain Avenue, keeping that light source from morning until evening, which I showed in what is directed light aimed into the depths of that Starbucks. 28217C3, which is the pattern. That's the pattern that I continue to show you. I can't really see that one. While I am documenting what is the maintenance of a light source over me from morning until evening, everywhere that I go. And that is speaking to what is impossible. It's not occurring at the same time. It's not setting into the depths of Starbucks while it's aiming into the Chino Branch Library, for example. License 8ZKU635. And that goes without saying with regard to Fontana Lewis Library, etc., etc., etc. 8R48790 139793 bell cap, 6FTU897, 8VOA807, 6SPB716, and you also know that that's not the sun that was setting in a Starbucks because it's present over me, as I've even documented this year, 9 o'clock in the morning. Okay, so like I said, that's the ongoing pattern. That's the evidence that you are surrounded by when you engage in group stalking. 7VNA885, 8VDG790, 3WSL421, I believe. YOA6MB, Arizona. 8YTM016. 8VPN370. 5YCJ560. And it's 7:33 p.m. License 19981X2 coming from Chevron on surveillance cameras as well. And it's, it's still 7:33 p.m. 5708 049 32F2. Omni Access 1527208. That's Omnitrans. 6YCH384 84397G1 8YXE 644 7JOY 854 or 7JDY 854. You can scratch it because I can't really see that third character. It's 7:35 p.m. Seven GTL 891 6ZXN 827 8WLV 022 5SLP 070 8RPX 962 8KLJ 531 6SVJ 412 5GSL 374 5PWX 714 5JUC 571 8TYK. I can't see the rest of that one. 5JZZ 813 4JIS 256 8LXS 965 85676W1 13294A1 8TXJ 763 8KFE 659 8EML 600 7YNN 961 CC18A23. That's paper. And it is 7:37 p.m. Seven V 89383 8BWL 279 8UFX 192 5SXB 846, I believe. 6JBD 237 7MBK 664 8WZN 959 77439F1 8WTR 334 and it's currently 7:39 p.m. License 8EHC 979 78RE 78RF 902. 7NLN. I can't see the rest of them. 4VLZ 4VLZ 801. Excuse me. It's 7:40 p.m. Six 7588B2. 8H27555, 8SVA464, 8SJY 741, 6LES 047, 5DGT 083, 93408B3, 7TBA 252, 6VFK 721, 4JVR 018, 4286D2. I can't see the last character though. You could scratch that one. 4676283. 7JCB537. It is currently, by the way, 7:42 p.m. 09850F2. 7XCP988. 5UKL620, 8MBT527, 8BLL434, 8ESP010, I believe. I think it was 8FSP010 or 8ESP010. It's 7:43 p.m. 4YKM955. It's 7:43 p.m. BWS8073. That's Washington. Can't really see that one. 78NX521. Amazon Prime crossing path. They're driving south on Mountain Avenue. They're doing so in directed light. 8VVA179. Always remember that. This is group stalking. License 8LRD613, 8LRJ497, 7TLW928, 5ZHS410, 8EML256, 8ZKP577. Eight XNC 656, 7ZTR 297, 6RQG 691, 94058H3, And remember what I stated, it was Omnitrans, an Omnitrans company vehicle. It was not the Omnitrans bus. It was Omni Access. The entity crosses path in the ways that it does on purpose, deliberately. 4KGX672. Just pay attention to that. I stated Omni Access, and that's what it was. It's 7:45 p.m. License 8RFA320. In Ontario Police Group Stalking, crossing path in directed light. License 1532798, vehicle 1887. Omnitrans Route 84 is crossing path driving south on Mountain Avenue right now. Stopping at the intersection of Holt and Mountain at 7:46 p.m. License plate 8XNR540. And as I just pointed out to you again, as I stated, the entity crosses path in the ways that it does deliberately with ongoing knowledge of everything that I'm stating, as I stated. And that's you see, as I document the Ontario Police, this is a demon. These are demons that are group stalking together. They're stalking right now. They chose to drive by at that moment that I documented specifically. All I'm doing is pointing out to you the ongoing attention you're paying to everything, including the schedules of the bus. And as I'm documenting them, everything is being documented at the same time. And the entity is intentionally crossing path. You are intentionally crossing path in directed light for purposes of stalking. You're crossing path with ongoing knowledge as to what I'm documenting about the entity while you're already stalking anyway. You're on a dark street waiting to cross path, waiting to take your turn. They're demons engaging in tag team stalking. License 8RIN453 65834N2, I believe. License 7PBX316. Seven PFD 215. 7SMH 277, I believe. 7RLJ 466. (49247Z2) 8AAK079 409 12C1 319JEG. That's out of state. For RVL 485 9ABY 092. It's 7:49 p.m. (7XCL 944 7AUY 791 8XIV 536 8DKG 977 8JKL 107 8SCM 951 5JA 900, I believe that's Arizona. 5SSN 009. Trying to group stalk really quickly. Group stalking is being present in the path. They're group stalking. That's what I meant by that. BN04P85 paper. 8TGN114 7YAW515 7KAR675 8AJG234 7DVA852 8ZMP774 8R33786. 8VHC524. 7LMM715. 5FYY468. 8XUB170. 5XVC. I can't really see that one. You can scratch that one. 6LMK848. 8YFZ868. 8XRA871. 7GTV855. 8FRT840. 8XFN078. 8RKA584. 6EQZ324. 6ZJU396, I believe. And it's currently 7:53 p.m. DODG 879. 8WQT997. 5VDW 828. 14710L3. And it is 7:54 p.m. Six ZDW. I can't really see the rest of them. You can scratch that one. 05332. And it's 7:54 p.m. For 8CJK 902, I believe. XNM864. 7DFN794. 7BZB891. 8VKR797. 8CIG201. 8LUL397. 8RJU059. 5NFD 887. 7XDD 844. 6ZPP 273. That's criminal summoning. That's American Medical Response. That is P.O.C. That's facilitation as the state acts directly, creating audible activity in directed light. Omnitrans is monitoring as well. 8Z, Z2294, I believe. License 7UDR151. 5H KX860. 52408 R1. 52408 R1. And that is Omnitrans bus number 1219 that is on Hope Boulevard going westbound. That's monitoring with American Medical Response. License 8ELM276, and it's 7:57 p.m. 7DVG108. 8GIR883, I believe. Seven PFP 546. S1 5859 7T1 7RIR 577. 6LDA 501, 5MJU 516, 6XLJ 970, 8GLT 517, 7MXL 171. 6MBA 971. 7DIR 867. It is 7:59 p.m. and Route 61 is arriving now. This is P.O.C. And this is bus number 1328 arriving at 7:59 p.m. And the employee number is not arriving, but this is the Latino male who I typically, I don't want to say typically, who has on more than one occasion driven the Omnitrans buses that come from Fontana, from the Fontana Metro train station. This is the Latino male with the balding head. It is currently 8:01 p.m.
Airport Terminal, Fontana.
3528 is the employee number that is being displayed.
Airport Terminal, Fontana.
Federal law requires masks on board and at stops. No mask, no ride.
Alrighty, this is license 1404972, bus 1328, driven by employee 3528. Engaging in what is the pattern of conduct is I am on the same, again, company, that's Omnitrans, representing the people of the state, while the P.O.C. is underway as I'm coming from Fontana Metro train station to Ontario. 43A, 3LF, Arizona, 7BNC, 531. 07611L3. And it is 8:04 p.m. 12689X2 8ZLE445. License 8COB172. Stalking in the path with light. 8JFH405. That's facilitation. They're monitoring inside of Ape Fitness. It's facilitation while the demons engage in stalking with light. It's also a molestation. License 8J. Oh yeah, I read that one. 8NHV454. They're monitoring at Sam's Liquor. 8YWA332. 25221J3. And this is surrounding the perimeter behind the United States Postal Service. Another demon sitting with light. 6TTB400. This is the ominous stalking by the demon possessed. The people of the state that are engaged in surveillance. It is demonic activity. It's entirely demented. It is 8:05 p.m. And that's audible activity, which is amplified while demons are sitting at corners around lining the path with light. That is group stalking. (8XNP117) 8ELL490 6ZNA076 78032B2 8E47881 8JUL790 6RSJ317 6SSU151 7YUZ855 9AWH297 9AHW297, excuse me. CC06M69 paper 28267V2 8RZW371 8APC918 8JZH603 8JLU790 6JWBO37 8WBR977 7FJK187. And I'm at the same intersection. It's the same demon-possessed entity. You saw these demons driving through directed light this morning. They are driving in directed light amongst amplified audible activity right now. All right? This is the pattern of conduct. 7JFK187. Go on ahead. 6CZE858. 8VWW082. As I have already thoroughly documented, but this is the ability to capture what is not a coincidence. It's not an anomaly. It's not some freakish incident. It's entirely demonic, and it's a system. It is a demonic system, and it's criminal. 8HXP384. BF17S23 paper. It's 8:08 p.m. CB57U89 paper. 7UGV119. 1302445. 7EIS324. Touching. Papa John's as well. 7BAL980. 8NIB063. 8HMP663. You have a demon that's group stalking at transit on the opposite side of the street. And the demons that manifest light are those that are capable of touching with light across the street. Those aren't headlights, okay? And who's crossing path? The demons whose license plate I just read, they're monitoring together. This is a sex offense, okay? This is speaking to what is a perpetual sex offense, but I'm speaking to it while another iteration of that same sex offense is underway. A demon that's at transit, and reciting the pattern of conduct while I was walking down Holt, and I'm telling you they're group stalking a demon sitting in front of Ape Fitness, which is facilitation of that. You can document the venue. They're stalking in the path with light. You're telling on everybody while you engage in any of the elements of monitoring. You're revealing everybody else's identity while you engage in demonic conduct. While you demonstrate it, it's telling on everyone else as well. But like I said, the entity is surrounding the perimeter with light. And then you've got a demon that's across the street. How are you touching me with light? That's a demon that's manifesting light. This is satanic. Omnitrans is engaging in that molestation. Okay, Papa John's, the third party that drives on the transit in order to touch me as well. Okay, license plate. Let's get this demon. 71613F2. K924380. 7X. I can't really see that one. You can scratch that one. 7TCM357. 8R84231. 8FFS706. 9AHY366, and this is exactly what they were doing this morning while they were touching me with horizontally shooting light that's coming off of their car while they're driving under what's supposed to be the sun as they're on the street driving north on Euclid Avenue. Yeah, that's what they were doing this morning. 7YUW427, okay? They're demons that manifest light, demonic. 7WXW818. This demonic conduct shall be the prosecution for what is an extraordinarily violent sex offense, all right, of one of the highest levels, and because it's that which is underway by a government that's also engaging in what is surveillance. 6HUN328, and it's going to be appreciated under federal law. 6YYR012. License plate. 8DTK171. 8MYZ022. 4UDM221. Just want to make sure I read those. And it's currently 8:12 p.m. I'm at the Ontario Museum of History and Arts. This is P.O.C. $8WUH703 5YGX905 8UIB708 6TZN222 8URY760 8WIN369 7GXU730 8TTU561. This group stalking at Andy's Burgers inside of the B&G Plaza. And 8WIN369 is group stalking sitting in their car at the intersection of Plum and Holt. Group stalking for what is crossing a path. They're all in direct light. This is P.O.C. It's 8:50 p.m. 6RSZ749 8PID176 40361F1 4WON432. And it is 8:51 p.m. That is Tracy Banks, 4WON432. P.O.C.